whiz, gang. We're gonna find that red-headed horse.
Slowly but surely, I do hope that people submit more fan art of like my human or the furry. I'm not I'm not picky.
So less
Or both.
horse.
I mean, I love Key. I think she's a fantastic. I love her design. It's just, you know, I like variety. Why do you think I have so many characters?
Yee.
Hello, Jedi Wizard. We'll be painting soon. Just giving people like a couple more minutes. God, I love this Yotam music track.
Yeah.
It's so chill.
He's a very chill boy.
I remember Yotam
I like that
from
big one.
the... Yeah, Wolfhead commissioned this. This is my favorite.
Well, hold on. I don't think that's fan art.
Beautiful.
The thing is that...
That's definitely not fan art.
Wait, did I put in the Kermit pictures? I don't know if I put in the Kermit pictures from the stream, the other stream in my fucking computer, in my fan art folder for the slideshow.
Let me just, I'm going to hear back at full volume the stream, so be sure to talk, both of you. And so I know how we sound.
Oh no, I did!
Oh no.
Tia,
Oh,
Tia,
no.
how
Oh,
many
what?
Kermit pictures did I have in the last stream?
A lot.
Oh no. Oh no.
Let me go check my downloads. Let's see, you had 1, 2,
Oh,
3,
strong.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 pictures of Kermit on your last stream.
Oh no.
Okay.
Yeah?
I can assess that Tia is slightly soft, but I think that's just because she is naturally a. You have her turned down, actually. I think, right?
Yeah, I do. Let me turn her back up till. Let's do 112. Let's
On
hear
voice
it.
meter, I'm at an 8.4.
So let's
So
hear it.
really, I can.
I am speaking. I am playing Sky, Legend of the Children. Children of the Light, go
Yeah,
play
she's
it.
not
It's
good.
probably gonna come out on Switch soon.
Alright,
But here's the
how's
thing.
How's
From-
the music
From
compared
this
to the-
point, oh, the music is fine. It's soft, quiet, like audible, but you know,
Yeah, I
not
don't want it to be
obtrusive.
too much.
So, if any of y'all are like, so quiet, so too loud, you're dumb. Because I have tested with a neutral setting.
If anyone
are
says that, I
very
will
audible.
positively vor my mic.
Oh, please don't.
Like at this point, because
I'll feel like
as
Kermit
a
in this
viewer,
picture, Tia, if you do that.
That's an incentive. If you say that,
Then I'll feel like
I-
this.
as a viewer, I can confirm at full volume on both the YouTube and my main computer that we are very audible. The music is not too loud, but it's there. We are good. So if you people say things like so-and-so's too loud, so-and-so's too quiet, you're objectively wrong, and it's your end. I can confirm this factually.
Pardon the dog.
Yeah, don't worry, we pardon dogs here.
Gonna
With
pull
that-
a Coke out of the mini fridge.
Oh hell yeah!
With
you
that,
and your mini
folks,
fridge.
happy Saturday.
Yeah.
I hope you all are doing well. I thought instead of a rage-filled game night, we chill down with some painting. You guys seemed to like the painting stream last time, so
Yeah, with autism, Gem.
autism.
That's
Yes.
confirmed.
Autism
It is confirmed.
asexual gem.
Ah.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. So we're gonna be working on a few pieces tonight. We're gonna continue on Paradox. Then we have a little Raichu piece and then an original piece. Planning to go for 2.5 hours. I have a stopwatch on my laptop screen, so that way I can keep in mind how long we've been streaming. Because Streamlabs is great, but it doesn't give me a good time indicator on how long I've been going for. But
Time to set the timer on your phone.
yeah, that's what I'm doing with the Chromebook.
Nice.
But yeah, so I hope you all are doing well. I have Chris and Tia here to be my cohorts.
Hello.
Coca-Cola, Chris?
Yes.
Of course. Come on.
I mean, yeah, it's
Cracking open a boy with the cold ones.
we're going to be working more on Peridot's hair today, hopefully getting it all squared away, and maybe we can move on to shading her face and her glasses. But, you know, the hair takes up most of the piece, which is the fun part. Also, I just find it really relaxing to paint hair, making it look like strands and all that stuff.
Small gem, big hair. Gotta love it.
I know, Dorito. So
God,
if you
imagine
guys,
the wigs.
I've actually seen there was a video tutorial on how to do a Peridot wig, and it was essentially making this giant cardboard helmet and wrapping a wig around it, like hot gluing wig extensions, which you know, it works out. But yeah, if you guys have any questions or discussion topics for us, we are more than happy to oblige.
Yeah.
I kind of want to redo this shadow part. I don't like this kind of muddy yellow. I've been testing out with a more orangey color over here before the stream, and I'm liking it a lot more.
I was just gonna suggest the orange yellow because it gives it like, it's gold. Oh.
Yeah, which I think is better because, you know, she's a gem. She's supposed to have a little bit more, I don't know what you would call it, an ethereal quality about it, because they are
luminosity.
They are just holograms, aren't they? So
yeah.
I'm probably gonna do that. Kind of like how I shaded her shoulder here with yellow and stuff.
Oh, I was looking at that right when you started, and it looks lovely.
Yeah, that was my testing sphere, because I do like these dark bluish purple shadows for her skin. And I think I'm gonna make the light source, like, because light is gonna be coming from here, kind of have a bluish tint to it, so that way it still stays in a relatively cool color. And her hair is the warmest part of her palette, so
yeah.
I gotta stop moving my hand around because it's making the camera's autofocus go fucking bonkers. That's the one thing. I like this new webcam. You know, it was the best I can find for the price range, because webcams are fucking expensive on Amazon right now. But I would like to get one that has a manual focus, because I feel like I would gel with that better.
Like I said before, give me your color coordination.
Apparently Skywolf had a question. Will Kichi ever be in a stream? Probably. I mean, if we play something. It's just that, you know, the server that I'm in when I do these streams is Chris's server, and Kichi's not in that one. So
Oh, we gotta fix that.
I mean, you know, I like having the what would you call it, roster that I have.
Yeah.
Oh, shucks.
Because, you know, I have Chris and Tia, Sean, Lizzie, and, you know, then you have, like, the more supporting cast members like Max and Brett and Will.
Yeah.
I like having...
I miss Dave.
And, yeah, so Dave got fired after the Sonic stream. We found out he was embezzling money into the company. And, you know, not taking money out of the company, he was putting money into the company, and you know... Oh, I heard a... Kimone donate. Hey, K-Moan donated $10. Wow, Peridot looks gorgeous, looks wonderful in your style. Also, the piece fits the canvas size well. All the best for the rest of your painting. Thank you for donating properly to the Wine On Fund.
Oh yeah.
Properly.
Well, because
Yeah,
you
use
know,
a culprit.
yeah, using Streamlabs.
Streamlabs instead of
Yeah.
Good on ya.
Ugh.
Keep doing that.
I should get a
Yeah.
lighter blue than this teal right here. What do I got in my bag of tricks?
Tia, do you have a ceiling fan?
You hear the squeaking?
Yes.
Let me fix that. It's been doing this for the past week.
I mean, how dare you? How dare you try to be cool in the middle of Arizona?
Cool
the
in
place
this,
where, the place where they made a state out of spite.
It turns out we
Hate
have
it here.
a fire too.
I saw.
Oh.
I saw on the fire map that it just seems like half the United States is just burning. What? How do you guys have fires? What trees do you people have in that desert?
It's
of
a
state?
dry heat.
Trees.
We have cacti.
Is it a brush fire? Like, is it?
Maybe?
Yeah, it's like the
okay.
footage I saw was in like bushes.
Ah, okay.
3 days ago. Ooh, no, that's 3 days ago. Mesa fire.
Okay,
Local fire.
I'm having a problem because I read multitask as masturbate, and I was gonna question this question.
That's Freudian.
It's awful because it says I'm about to multitask, so I thought it said I'm about to masturbate. Like weird flex, but sure, you do you.
You do you, boo. Like, yeah, we don't slut shame here. We slut appreciate.
Mhm.
Hence.
Haunts.
Haunts.
Keyframe, have you ever heard of Rivals of Aether?
Isn't that I think that's like the fighting game with all the animals, and there's like a frog main character or something. I've heard of it. I think I'm gonna use a wider brush for this.
Shiny Thunderclap Pokemon Zerar. Jesus Christ, get a shorter name. Says, "Hi, Miss Key. How you today?"
Oh,
Is that your voice for them?
hello.
Yes.
How you today?
How you today?
I am, I'm doing okay. Been
Vibing.
vibing, and now I'm here and I'm painting, which is like one of the most relaxing activities that I indulge myself in. And I'm with friends, which is always a dandy time.
Yeah.
Need more white paint.
Dude, the last time I touched a canvas. Oh man,
I got kicked
wasn't
out
even
of the
15.
museum.
It was over a decade ago that I've actually ever touched like legit paint. Man, that's San Diego time, dude.
Yeah, I love painting. Just that this kind of brush feeling is just, it's relaxing. People with anger problems need to paint.
Yeah. Hey, Chris, want to take up painting?
Not particularly.
Are you implying Chris has anger problems?
Does he not?
He has his own vices to get over it.
Yeah, without his anger problems, he wouldn't be Chris. I love him.
I know. He wouldn't be that he is today.
That. Wow.
The gestures to everything that.
Yes, I mean, put that on his epitaph. Chris, he was a that.
He wasn't a who or a what. He was a that.
People always asked, how is Chris? But they never asked, that is Chris.
First of all, that implies people ask, "How is Chris?"
Aww.
Hey, I go on a call and ask how you're doing.
Everyone,
Yeah,
ask how
didn't
is
think about-
Chris.
It's not the same if they're told to.
Is it like when your mom tells you to go play with the neighbor kid that likes putting rocks on top of anthills?
Chris needs a Snickers if he's angry. Do you like Snickers?
No. Snickers make me angry, ironically.
Why do
Oh.
Snickers make you angry?
No reason to put nuts in there! It was fine!
Then just have a
yeah.
Milky Way.
Yeah.
The
Twix,
texture
maybe.
of a Milky Way always makes me gag.
I like Milky Way
I don't know.
Midnights more than Milky Ways. Which
Just-
are the dark chocolate and nougat bars.
Ooh, nougat. I don't know. Give me a Kit Kat and I'll be fine.
Twix, baby. Goddamn Twix.
I mean, sometimes I just like something a little bit softer than the cookie in a Twix. Twix are valid, though. I used to be
a commie?
Yes. I used to, when I was a kid, with Twix, I would put them in the freezer. And then I would take them out. And I would separate the hard caramel from the cookie, eat the cookie first, and gnaw on the caramel.
Ooh.
You remember the episode of Seinfeld where friggin' George uses a Twix bar to try and figure out who ate it?
Oh,
yeah. It was a setup! They were all Twix!
I've met people who've never watched an episode of Seinfeld, and that makes me
How? It was on every fucking network!
because they weren't
Even
born
I.
yet.
Oh.
Fuck, I proudly own the complete series on DVD. I fucking love Seinfeld so much.
Seinfeld is one of those series where, you know, people sing its praises, and it's actually deserving of how much praise. Because, you know, there's always those shows where it's like, I don't know, maybe they're kind of exacerbating how good it is. And it's like, no, Seinfeld's just legitimately good, because you see that every, oh wait, we're gonna get a ghost. Dark Blastoise donated $10. Buy yourself the biggest Snickers bar. I will. I like Snickers, but I like nuts in my candy. I think it's a textured thing.
I think the other great thing about Seinfeld is just how many... I very rarely say this about a show, really, but it's memorable. Like, the fact that I could just pull from the back of my head moments from the show that seem incidental, like the fact that I can say, oh, remember in Seinfeld with the Twix and George? Like, that you could just pull that out. It seems like an insignificant thing, but Seinfeld can make the most insignificant thing the Junior Mints. The Junior Mints. Yeah, I could just say Junior Mints and you know.
Do you think our adoration of Seinfeld is also a Northeastern thing?
It could be. I have thought about that.
Because not only is the show set there...
It would be stronger with you because you are a New Yorker and I am not.
I know, but the thing is that there's a certain culture with the Northeast because of the cultures that immigrated there and took up a lot of the population. And, those are highlighted because it was a Larry David show. And, Jerry Seinfeld and stuff.
Which is why some of the best episodes are the ones Larry was heavily involved in.
My favorite Seinfeld moment and the one that I feel the most related to is when George cannot come up with a comeback until he's driving in his car on the way. And he flies to the place.
The jerk store called. They're running out of you.
I slept with your wife. My wife's in the hospital.
I was like, that was I slept with your wife was a Kramer comeback. Why don't you just say you slept with his wife? Yeah, I would really get to him.
So good. I mean, I've been to the diner that's in the Soup Nazi episode of Seinfeld because they filmed it at an actual place.
Yeah.
And I remember specifically, they have that little plaque that says from the Soup Nazi episode. It was okay.
Oh.
But my favorite thing that I discovered through our journeys through Cameo and seeing what E-list celebrities are on Cameo, you can get the Soup Nazi on Cameo, like the guy who played.
Yeah, but also remember, what I think is sad and amusing about his cameo is remember that man's only known for 2 roles, and both of them are basically guest appearances. Because again, he's the Soup Nazi, no soup for you. But he's also the card dealer in Austin Powers, you have 17. So.
Yeah.
That's
to give you context here, there's an episode of Seinfeld where they're going to this place that it has, like, the best soup. But there's a bunch of stipulations with the man serving the soup, so they call him the soup Nazi. And I think Elaine pissed him off in the episode, and that was the entire, like, arc there, was Elaine wanting to get the soup. And, you know, the soup Nazi is like, no soup for you!
Yeah, part of my absence, my dog was making a fuss.
Was it
Weird.
Was it Floppy Boy or me?
It was Floppy Boy. He thinks he protects the house, but he's just loud.
I've actually, since we're still on the subject of Seinfeld, I've actually wanted to talk about this for a long time.
Go ahead.
I've actually thought about for years as a, like, I think thanks to shows like Arrested Development, I'm a big fan of just like background gags, something that's not immediately pointed out, but when you do notice it, it's funny. I have considered for years doing a bit where in one video on the back, you know, in the background on my shelf, that I have the exact same tapes that are on Jerry's shelf in the exact same order, just to see if anyone gets the sequence of tapes. And I think, if I remember correctly, he has like 2 copies of Arachnophobia or something, because it's just like random tapes that prop department's probably like, well, there's got to be tapes on the media shelf. So there'll be times where there's just like duplicates.
I love background gags, or you know, they didn't have to put this extra effort to something. I won't lie, the first thing that came to my mind when we were watching Seth MacFarlane talking, not the one before Larry and Steve. It was the other one, the one we watched before that was basically parroting that. And he had the 2 Emmys on his desk. For some reason, the first thing that came to my mind is that when they cut to different things and cut back to Seth, there's more Emmys in the room, like slowly growing. But actually, you know, to change the subject, to pull a change, me and Chris were talking about this yesterday. Seth MacFarlane is such an antithesis of Butch Hartman in when Seth has his, like, more control, he makes a better product than when he is mixed in with more cooks. Like, because we were bored and we were watching, we were talking about Adam West. I think that's how it got started. And
yes, I believe that's correct.
Chris was telling me the story of how they got the phone tag they had to do to get Adam West on Johnny Bravo. And usually when we get to Johnny Bravo, we love to pull up the picture of dorky-ass Butch Hartman and Seth MacFarlane with Adam West in the recording booth. And that led to us talking about Larry and Steve, which, if people were not around at the time, Larry and Steve was a What a Cartoon pilot that Seth did. And it's a really great pilot. Or, you know, a cartoon short. It's fantastic. Like, you could tell the jokes that they eventually put into Family Guy. But one of my favorite jokes in it was, you'll be directly responsible for euthanasia. Oh, they got enough kids there as it is. but we were talking about...
It's a tragedy. Wow.
Oh.
Is everybody okay?
That one kills me. Hey buddy, you got any redneck yellow mustard? But you know, it's I didn't spend 12 years in kindergarten because I'm stupid. Why? I had my foot caught in the radiator. And then we went to talk about like stuff like the Orville and the Ted movies and stuff. Or even American Dad, because Seth was more involved with American Dad than, you know, he eventually became with Family Guy. As a creator, when you let Seth just do Seth, the products are great. And I think that's just because the style of humor that Seth has, which you can see consistently through a lot of his early works, you know, like the original Larry and Steve, like Thesis Film, and Larry and Steve, and early Family Guy, and his episodes of Johnny Bravo.
Yeah.
It's so violently himself that I think there's very few examples of people who can emulate it and thus gel with it. Like, there are examples like Dan Povenmire and stuff who went on to make, other things.
Hell yeah.
Because I think people blame Seth way too much for Family Guy's downfall than he actually deserves.
Yeah.
Because that's a Fox thing and a terrible picking of writers. Because what was the last episode Seth wrote? The season, 3 premiere or something?
Yes, actually. He's only, in the history of Family Guy, he has only written 3 episodes. And the sad thing is, when you think about them, those, at least one of them is one of my absolute favorite Family Guy episodes. Because do you remember the first Family Guy viewer mail when they had the shorts?
Oh yeah, and one of them was they gained superpowers and stuff.
That's the one. That's Seth wrote that one.
Did Seth write the episode where Brian had to take care of an old lady?
No. The only other ones he wrote besides the Super Griffins, which was that viewer mail short, he wrote the pilot, obviously. Mm-hmm. And he wrote the revival premiere, which I believe would have been season 4, I believe, when the show came back after being canceled. North by North Quahog.
But there's still the thing that the earlier episodes he had more of a hand in at least directing.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Well, there's also because he had better writers, and I'm going to assume if I was to look back, I'd be like, yeah, he probably worked with that guy at Hanna-Barbera, maybe somehow, because we know Povenmire and Swampy wrote for Family Guy as well.
Yeah.
And those two definitely had some, because I think they also wrote for Cartoon Network shows at the time as well. So there would have been some kind of connection of he probably just was familiar with them or knew them and said, hey, I got a cartoon. Why don't you come down and get ready an episode? Maybe 2.
Yeah, fun. I mean, we had this as part of the discussion when we were talking about Larry and Steve. We talked about a universe where Larry and Steve got picked up for a cartoon instead of the timeline that we have now, where because of the Larry and Steve short, he got hired to work for Johnny Bravo, and then so on and so forth. But we were honestly wondering, was the reason Larry and Steve didn't get picked up because it was too highbrow for the network at the time? Because a lot of those jokes, they hit better as, an adult. Even as a teenager, yeah. I think they would hit a lot better. And I said, I imagine in a hypothetical timeline, if Larry and Steve got picked up during the Casper Kelly era, where we had not an Adult Swim, but the later hours were something different. Like Space Ghost, and when they did those late night specials poking fun at things. I think we would have had the adult animation genre that we have now would have a different palette. What's up?
So, what I went to look up for you is now I'm curious who wrote. The name of that episode was Brian Wallace and Peter Swallows, with the Brian taking care of an elderly singer. Mm-hmm. That episode was written by a woman. Huh. And she is the co-creator of Supergirl and The New Normal. But here's the big kick. That episode was directed by Dan Povenmire.
Sweet.
I'm not surprised that the episode that had a musical number was directed by Dan.
Oh, yep.
That's a good point and well made.
Wait, check the FCC episode.
I don't think Dan would have been working on the show by that point. Well, because that's season 4 or 5, because that was a revival series. But that's also a Seth thing to throw in musical numbers. And in fact, I'm gonna confirm who did the commentary for that episode, but I used to have the DVDs for at least the first 3 seasons, and I listened to the commentary for Brian Wallace and Peter Swallows, and it's interesting to hear so many crew members, and Seth is also in the commentary. So many crew members talk about, they're just like praising Seth MacFarlane's amazing singing, and he keeps going, "Guys, come on, please."
He seems like such a sweet. It's like the Adam Sandler thing. Where people think he's so like, his creations does not represent the person behind the drawing board.
Well, yeah. People need to relearn that.
It is something. Watch the Orville if you want to support good things that Seth done. Just watch the Orville. It's better than any Star Trek thing you're gonna get as of recent. And I'm going to put a pin in that because I don't want Chris to get on the fucking tirade that he did the other day about Lower Decks. Fucking. I mean, it turned into a good conversation, but man. If you ever want Chris if you want Chris to get violently angry about a show, just ask him, "Hey, what's your opinion of Lower Decks?"
That's what it...
Yeah, the Star Trek animated show on that one streaming service no one has.
That was fun to listen to.
You just like hearing me yell.
I love hearing you yell.
That's how you know you're a great friend.
Yeah.
And I mean that genuinely.
And I just looked up the whole Povenmire Family Guy thing. Apparently he worked on the episodes from 2006 to 2007. No Chris Left Behind, Barely Legal, Saving Private Brian. Bango was his name. Brian Stings and Swings.
By that logic, he would have been on the show from seasons 1 to maybe 6, because season 6 was a 2007 premiere, but if he left after 5...
He was pretty much just a storyboard supervisor for all of them.
He was on there longer than I thought.
Yeah, same. I freaked out when I found out that he was involved with Family Guy. I had to tell my parents. I'm like, hey, one of these shows that I like involves a creator from a show that I like. God.
Trying to do another coat of primer on the background. But, what was I gonna say? Yeah, the thing I was gonna say is, I feel like if we had more highbrow animation that eventually would get categorized as adult animation, because I feel like Space Ghost now in retrospect, even though it wasn't officially an Adult Swim property, became viewed as adult animation.
It's actually the direction that show turned that caused Cartoon Network to figure out what to do with it, because it started as like a TV PG, and then in later seasons they were like, this is kind of getting a little
risque,
edgier. Yeah, it's getting kind of risque for a network, so we're gonna air it at a later and later time. And they got to a point, it's like, you know what? Fuck it, let's just make a late night block.
And the thing is,
like,
oh, go on.
Well, that was it. It's like basically Space Ghost kind of helped, bring about the Adult Swim block, was simply because the writers were getting bored with the concept and were pushing it further and further, and therefore pushing the show to a later and later time. And I think when it also premiered, it only had Space Ghost, C-Lab 2021, and Home Movies, because they bought Home Movies as part of a syndication deal.
Yeah, from UPN.
Yeah.
But I think this was part of our conversation, and if people who follow me on Twitter saw that tweet, Fred, that I made about we lack genuine adult animation, or animation that doesn't require every character being a snarky comedic relief.
Yes,
This was the conversation that spurned that, because we were talking about Lower Decks, and
yeah,
the thing about the characters in Lower Decks, and again, and I'm saying this is not a slight against the character designers, the animators. Titmouse is amazing. They do a good job animating the show. The visuals are genuinely the best thing about the show. But the two main characters, which is Beckett and I think Brad, they
Shithead and doormat.
yeah, they are just they feel like both Ricks in a way, but the side characters, which is like Tendi, which is an Orion alien, and then they have one character that's a newly made cyborg character that is legitimately a great concept.
And as I said in our conversation, quintessentially Trek. Like that whole conflict is very Trek-esque.
Yeah, but the thing is, the Orion alien and the new cyborg, they are always put into the B plots, from my knowledge. When, in my opinion, they feel like main characters, like more fleshed out personalities and more opportunities for stories than the actual main characters we got. Because, you know, the Orion alien is like a medic fleet protege, and I do like the, maybe I'm a sucker for Zoidberg, I like the concept of an alien working in medicine. Especially since, you know, most of the Starfleet is humans. And, you know, the new cyborg is just so Trekky. And I feel like the show would have been more standout if we had these two main characters who, when we've seen, you know, an alien Starfleet member or a cyborg Starfleet member, they are always the supporting cast. I mean, what was the closest example to like a cyborg or the alien being the main character, being the protagonist?
We're only 3 episodes in, and I don't think they're even trying to do that.
Well, I'm saying, like, of the Star Trek franchise, you know more than I do. I mean, we've had supporting cast members that become breakout characters, like, you know, Geordi and Data and stuff, but they weren't conceptualized to be main characters.
Exactly. Well, unfortunately, that would be something Joey would be better to answer, because as much as I love Trek, I never bothered to watch things like Deep Space Nine or Voyager, and I think I've seen some of Enterprise, but that's also because Enterprise is only 4 seasons, so it's a little easier to be like, yeah, I could take some time on Enterprise. Plus Scott Bakula, always good.
I mean, who doesn't? But
exactly.
It's just
but
a thing
Joey would probably jump in and be like, oh, there's an example of this. He knows shit because he has all the goddamn books. You know, he knows shit that's probably not considered canon anymore.
Yeah, but what does that say about the franchise that you have to go into extended universe stuff to find an example?
That's true.
And I feel like that would have made the show stand out more. And it also came into the topic of the weird irony that one of the biggest appeals about streaming services to put your show on, especially when, you know, Netflix started releasing original programming, making that precedent, was because they don't have the restrictions of networks, they can experiment, they can push the envelope, they can do different things. And of course, this show that's basically doing the safest option is a streaming service that's coming from a network because it's CBS. There's a weird taste of irony with that, but to go back to the whole point of, I think Lower Decks just, especially the character of Beckett, just kind of spurred this whole conversation of blame Marvel, blame Rick and Morty, even though those are objectively good properties in their own right. It kind of made the people who control the media, I know that sounds tinfoil hatty, but, you know, executives. Executives and investors think that the only way you can get something to be successful is always having an obscene amount of snark. Which I don't think is correct. I would, because I don't like it that so many characters in a show that is the optimistic one, that is the foil to the narcissist or the pessimist, is always treated as inferior. And then you have the fucking I am big wrinkly brain people who look at those characters that are the, you know, the narcissistic assholes that always get their way, and feel like that is a justification for them to act like that because, oh, these characters are liked. And it's for all... Come on, focus, camera. It's for all the wrong reasons.
Yep. Rick and Morty, prime example of that.
Stop trying to be a Rick and Morty clone. Just branch out. Show something new.
The thing is, it's that weird dissonance because, you know, the obvious parallel is because the creator of Lower Decks happens to be a Rick and Morty alumni. For those who don't know, it's the same guy who I'm assuming was a writer, or he had some kind of position at Rick and Morty, but he's also known as the co-creator of Solar Opposites with Justin Roiland, who, as we all know, is the co-creator of Rick and Morty. Yeah. And it's when you watch the show, it is painfully obvious. I want to give Mike, that's the guy's name, I want to give Mike the benefit of the doubt that maybe he did want to make a genuinely good Star Trek show with a touch of comedy. Because there's nothing inherently wrong with doing that. But just from the first episode, my issues with it were, like, when I knew all this, like, please just don't make it Rick and Morty. That's all I want. First episode just feels like a Rick and Morty episode, and it's probably one of the main reasons I had such a violent reaction to it, because no pun intended, my standards were quite low, and the only thing I asked was just don't make it Rick and Morty. I want to give Mike the benefit of, you don't have to be chained to the thing, you know, that clearly gets you work. And I would feel bad for any creator or artist who gets pegged to one thing. Like, oh, you're the Rick and Morty, you know, you work on this show. You did this show with the guy who did this thing. We want that. We want our Rick and Morty. Pretty much. And, like, you can concur with me or not, like, the whole premise, or B-plot, I should say, in the first episode with the flesh-eating, like, zombie-esque virus is so obscene for Star Trek. Where I'm just like, this is a Rick and Morty plot. Like, Rick and Morty's done this plot, for fuck's sake.
Don't we people tend to forget that you know, Star Trek was a space opera? That was its first classification.
Yes. I feel people like Kurtzman, who I'm gonna throw everything at his fucking piece of shit face. I believe what Kurtzman understands of Star Trek is that it's in space.
That's literally all I understand.
Well, that's fair because you don't watch Star Trek, dear.
But he's the person who's headlining all this Star Trek stuff, so I think he should do his homework.
Yeah.
He should know better. I don't assign you to a high position of controlling an IP if you don't understand the IP. And it is very clear that Alex Kurtzman, like, I'll put it this way to you, I wouldn't put you in charge of game development. You don't know shit about developing a game.
I do not.
So that's logical to be logical. But that is a, you know, really common thing to assume is you don't give someone the position if they don't understand. You should have, it's like game journalism. You should have just enough knowledge in the medium you are put in a position to, you know, work with or critique. Game journalism is a laughable fucking job, in my honest opinion.
Yeah, you were complaining about that this morning, too.
As someone who has journalism experience, and let me tell you, my journalism experience isn't crazy good. You know, I just wrote print reviews for my local paper about my local independent theater. However, game journalism is just awful. because it is very clear to me that 99% of game journalists don't actually know how to play video games.
Remember, my favorite example was the fucking Battle for Bikini Bottom rehydrated one with the mini game. To give context, and then Chris can go back to his point. For people who watch the rehydrated stream, in the Murmelair there's that bowling mini game, which, you know, makes the whole Rube Goldberg device, and it takes a couple tries, but whatever. The easiest part about it is bowling with the pressure pad to hit the button. And this guy is just, like, obscenely stupid about it. It almost feels purposeful, because he goes to the edge of the pressure pad and then starts the bowling animation, which makes you go forward. And I think me and Sean were watching it, and Sean's just like, why don't you move back? Because the pressure pad is huge. Sometimes I think, though, that they are sometimes for the whole accentuate the negative rhetoric that is highlighted with games, with I don't know, you know, with media journalism. That's what I was looking for. Sometimes I feel like they try to be bad at video games.
And of course, let's not forget the fucking Cuphead tutorial where the motherfucker couldn't figure out how to double jump.
Oh my god.
Oh, what a classic. Mwah.
I remember when, like, some people deserve it when, like, that... He was one of those fucking, like... no other way to put it, thin-skinned little prissy bitches about, like, well, why are you all being so mean to me about my self-proclaimed... And he goes, like, it was me failing. I even said, watch me fail. It's like, you're a game journalist! The predisposition is that you know what you're doing!
They should have game journalists work like a year in beta testing.
There's an idea. It's like, you know, you can't... It's such a split thing because, like, you know, some people say things like, well, if you don't... Like, with film or animation criticisms, like, well, if they don't actually know how to animate, what gives them the right to critique animations? Like, that's not really... You know, you don't have to be a chef to know you're eating shit.
There's a balance, though, because if you're going to get into this realm, that means that you are implied to take the active effort to understand. Let's simp for Saber Spark for a minute.
Yes.
This man does not... He has fully admitted, like, he doesn't know a lot about animation. He kind of fell into the cartoon reviewer scene and blew up.
Yep.
But he doesn't just, you know, flying from the seat of his pants kind of thing. He's actively trying to learn more and more because he's bought books and does his research and constantly wants to know more, which is super noble. Like his VeggieTales video, I think we've heard him because he's talked about it in Discord calls, just how much work goes behind it to research it, and I respect that. And I know that we talked about this on stream before, like one of my least favorite Disney Sember videos from Doug was him just not understanding the rudimentary plot of fucking Monsters, Inc. And just the whole thing of he only watches the movie once to talk about it, and, you know, we were talking about how I like to watch the movie as many times as possible and have it open while I'm writing a script, because if people are going to listen to my opinion, I want it to be an astute opinion, because people are investing time in me, and I'm investing time in this, so it might as well be good. Like...
Yeah. Especially, like, to pat myself, because I'm working similarly, like, Saber and I both happen to be working on big passion project videos that are not necessarily relevant, but we're both very passionate about... Well, yeah, because, you know, he's very passionate about VeggieTales, I'm very passionate about Lupin, and Lupin is a bitch to research. And that is hard, because, you know, when you want to make a video where the whole premise is, look, it's a 50-year-old franchise, not many people, at least given my polls, not many people have seen it, and the whole, like, the setup for the video is, you know, here's what's available to you, the consumer. And where should you start? Like, what would I recommend through 50 plus years of content? Should you watch this? Should you start with, should you watch Castle Cagliostro, or should you start with the anime? And for me, what I'm trying to sum it up as is, look, there's a lot of places you could feasibly start, but here's ones I recommend and for what reason. So it's sort of, well, if you don't want to commit to a show, here's some movies I recommend. Because, they're about roughly 90 to 100 minutes. People have time for that. And in my opinion, the top one to recommend is Cagliostro, because it's readily available. It's right now, it's on Netflix. So it's probably the easiest Lupin thing you can get access to. And plus the, Miyazaki connections don't hurt either.
Miyazaki connections does make it a more palatable option for people.
Exactly.
Oh, definitely.
It is far more.
Isn't that like one of the top sellers just because it's,
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Discotheque has said that the Kaggle of Castrios. Castle of
Since it's associated with Hayao Miyazaki, it's just a top seller.
Well, I'm sure that helps. I don't remember their exact reason, but they said in a podcast that it is one of their best. It is their top-selling title to date. I'm sure Konosuba has gone up there since then, but they've said, "Oh, we sell I think they sell like 10 copies a day or something. Like it's always selling."
The other thing about Castle is the fact that interpretation of Lupin is more palatable than if you started with like Secret of Mamo.
Yeah. Well,
And
also why in the video I say, like, Cagliostro is definitely, like you said, it's a bit easier to grasp. It's way easier to get a hold of than other stuff. But if you're like, I like this film, I kind of want to see more of these characters. The problem with that is, well, they're kind of not all like. This is a big exception because it's so different from most Lupin stuff. So I say, before you start going, hey, I like Cagliostro, I'm going to start watching part 1. Oh, hold on. Watch Mamo, because Mamo is way closer to what you should be expecting.
Monkey Punch's vision. And personally, my recommendation to people, once it becomes available, will be the first. Because to me,
agree.
that has the best presentation of, like, the part 2 and Mamo era of the characters, but also has and also has that touch. It has touches and narrative parallels to Cagliostro without it being totally Green Jacket wholesome Lupin.
It is genuinely like,
it's a fantastic
highlight. That's a masterpiece, if I'm going to be extremely bold. Simply for the fact of how the fuck did you marry these two tonally different iterations of Lupin into one feature film? Like, and the thing is, what I hate about it, that Monkey Punch will never see it.
May his soul rest in peace. My hope with that is that with the writers and because there's more than one cook in the kitchen. Because this is what the modern audience is going to grasp of Lupin. It gives me hope in what this post Monkey Punch era is going to be, because now we have this marriage and in the animation community, and I'm gonna argue in the anime community, Lupin is getting a fucking resurgence because we have the virality of the movie, and
hell yeah.
then we
mostly about how hot people thought Jigen was.
Yep, that was the first thing that I saw from the movie.
You people need to fix your taste and start craving that monkey man. But no,
or in Tia's case, go after the ape man.
Get monkey, the evolved form of a monkey is an ape. But it's just the thing of that virality, and also the fact that we are getting a TV distribution of Lupin for the first time since they started airing part 2 back in the day. on Toonami, because both
with part 5.
With both Italian Adventure and Part 5 airing on Toonami, which, you know, is something big, because while they did air Part 2 back in the day, that, you know, there was a gap of time where they didn't air a Lupin thing. And
in fact, they only aired the first 26 on Adult Swim, through my research I could gather. So even though 79 episodes, literally half of the series run was dubbed, they only ever aired a quarter of it.
Exactly. The fact that they are doing weekly airings, doing the whole series of, you know, part Italian Adventure and Part 5 is a slow but sure sign. And you know, from my knowledge, Lupin the First did well in Japan, like in its home country, and probably did decent in Italy. And
the movie, yeah.
When it's going to get its eventual dubs, I have a feeling it's going to be a home media hit.
Yeah. In a way, I think this pandemic's, you know, depriving of stuff, because the thing is, a lot of people have been mad at G-Kids, the distributor for Lupin the First, about the fact, like, what, you know, they say, oh, we have a dub cast and everything, and they keep saying, well, we're gonna wait till theaters open back up and release it then, and people are just like, why don't you just put it on digital like every other studio? And there's a part where it's like, I kind of agree and also see their point. Like, yeah, of course I want to see this as soon as possible. I've already seen the film in Japanese. I want to see it dubbed with the current cast. But I also want to be able to see it in a theater.
And I think with the fact that it is Monkey Punch's last involvement with Lupin, there's something poetic about it being in theaters.
Yeah. I just hope it goes to a theater I can go to. Because typically, I have bad luck with anime distribution, like theatrical stuff. Because when they put out the Code Geass film, it went to, like, a Harkins theater all the way down in, like, Scottsdale or something. I'm like, oh, fuck, I can't make that drive. Yeah, I love Code Geass, but I don't love a 2-hour drive in a car I don't have. So, no, I don't love it that much. And they did release the Ghibli films in my local theater when G-Kids was doing that, so maybe, just maybe, because it's also G-Kids, that it'll be a different story where Lupin will actually go to the theater down the street from me. And
people wondering what I'm doing right now with the silver, this is actually an iridescent medium, so it's like this sparkly paste, and I'm gonna do a little test swatch, probably like right here, with a really thin layer, seeing if it doesn't make the colors, you know, softer, to see if I can give it a little bit of an extra sparkle once it dries.
Ooh, sparkle.
Because usually I mix it in with the paint, but you can see how thick this is, and I really want to do thin layers when it comes to the hair. So if it doesn't dry completely clear, I'll probably just do on the final layer of it, you know, just mix it in with some paint and do it for the highlights and stuff.
yes, Pop Rocks. Me and Tia actually are from Arizona. Well, we're not we live in Arizona. We're not from here.
I'm from San Diego. I miss it.
You're from San Diego. I'm from Massachusetts, but yeah, we're both currently living in Arizona. Isn't there a Scottsdale in California? Or am I mistaken?
I think there is. Or
I think in middle California by Fresno. It sounds like a middle California place.
Yeah, that is the big thing that I'm to finish that off. Like what I want to do with that Lupin videos, basically just say, okay, here's everything, and if there is a title that's, because really, with 50 years and like 20 something TV specials, there's only so much you can say about each one, really. Well, this one was directed by so-and-so. Some of them are just like, not to say that they're bad or anything, but it's like, there's just not a whole lot to them. They're just kind of, well, it's more of the same. And it's whether or not you really like watching these characters that you will want to watch more of the same. It's just who's the Lupin girl this time, and what are they trying to steal?
I mean, it's also the fact of even though the plots are simple, there is the matter of, in storytelling terms, who uses this formula better. Because, you know,
Yeah.
you can, because even in your intro is that Lupin is simplistic, but it's a charming kind of simplistic. And,
Yep.
you know, while you can have, like Mamo, which to me, I love Mamo.
I
but
do too.
But for every Mamo, there's Island of Assassins.
Yeah, well, I mean, Island of Assassins has, I think as the few of us who watched it put it, is like, it's fine, but it's very un-Lupin-y, where it's just like, this just feels like any other standard anime film.
The most fascinating Lupin... Sorry, you finish your thought.
Well, no, that's about it. It's like, you know, it like you said, it's like it's all about how they go about telling the formula. Do they? Because they very rarely reinvent the wheel when it comes to Lupin, and I think that's honestly a good thing. Because when they try to reinvent the wheel, they kind of go a little too far in part 3.
It's strange how... You know how we constantly make the joke we want Lupin to cross over with Scooby-Doo?
Yeah.
Because I write this as one of my counterpoints in my Scoop script, that the things that are the most memorable Scooby-Doo properties are the things that subvert the formula.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, Lupin's kind of the antithesis. But the most fascinating Lupin thing that does not have great execution is the big crossover one. I can't remember its name. With the multiple Lupins.
Oh, Green versus Red.
Yeah, which had a great concept, but it was executed the way it was, and it's so sad because the whole thing of Green versus Red is the Lupin name is more of a moniker than an actual person.
Yeah, it's just an urban legend that daring men keep alive by acting out as if they are Lupin. It's like the whole, I think you put it this way, Chrissy, it's like the whole "you could wear the mask" from Spider-Verse. And it's a great, I love that idea of making Lupin an urban legend that certain people just keep the memory alive. But that OVA is so, especially the fact that it's boistered as, it's the 40th anniversary celebration. It's like, doesn't really feel like one. Like, you have elements in there that's like, hi, you get that reference. But that's about it. Outside of, like, the really, like, fan servicey stuff, it's just kind of like, this doesn't really feel like it earns the anniversary.
It feels very Day of the Doctor-esque in the worst way possible.
Yeah. God.
I stand by this.
Isn't that how the Zorro mantle gets passed too? That's actually a good comparison. It's remember, Green versus Red is not canon, but if it were, yes, it would go by Zorro rules, where it's a mantle that gets passed down. And again, I like that idea. I like the idea of there being, it's like the Dread Pirate Roberts. Someone else has to take on the mantle. I think that's great. Honestly, I'd love someone else to give it a second chance, but do a better job. And also, a side note, the biggest problem with Green versus Red, its plot is very hard to follow.
Very un-Lupin.
Yeah.
Did I miss these? I feel like I did.
No, we didn't watch Green versus Red as a group. I watched that on my own time.
I gotta stop going into these hibernation things because I gotta watch more Lupin with you guys.
Yeah.
I still stick by the fact the best person meeting themselves animated thing is the chipmunks meeting the chipmunks.
What?
Yeah, there was an episode of the '90s cartoon, right, where
they
the
met their
1960s chipmunks, and they were drawn in the 1960s style, and then you have the '90s style that looks more like the Chipmunks movie that Glenn Keane worked on.
Oh my lord! I gotta see a clip from that.
Fucking brilliant.
It's good. I like the '90s Chipmunk show. That show was fun. Okay, we've worked on Peridot for about an hour. We got some stuff on the hair. You can see that I went and did some detailed work on the hair that's above her chin.
Yeah.
Which
She looks good.
Which is going to be very useful for how to shade this top part, because this top part is problematic. But I also started lightening the shadows here so I can do the orangey shadows that are here, because these orange shadows actually look really nice.
They do.
I like the way her chest shines.
Yes,
Oh,
this
yeah.
is actually a metallic teal paint that I
Yeah.
found. And I
Oh, I am a sucker for that right now.
And I also have a metallic gold that I'm going to put the star on, but I want to put the star on last. But yeah, so we're going to take a break with Peridot right now, and I'm actually going to put the Be Right Back screen on so I can go and get myself a drink and use the restroom. So Tia and Chris will entertain you for a bit.
You saying that Lupin getting kicked to the head's not entertaining enough for them?
But no, you guys, we will be right back, and we will start work on Raichu.
Yeah.
Raichu! With Key?
I think that was yesterday night.
Oh, really?
It doesn't seem that long ago.
I swear, there was a storm like 2 nights ago, the fucking monsoon. But no, we were looking through all these different generations of Pokemon, and I'm just like, wait, I'm stuck in the earlier generations. When did these come about? I feel like such a boomer.
We're all Poke boomers, really.
Yeah. I'm sad that I never really got into the franchise when I was younger, because I feel not really left out, because I have gotten invitations to join things, but I'm ignorant in, the less gaslighty way. But if I had the resources, the money, the consoles, I would be playing Pokemon games like 24/7. I don't know if when you brought over your whatever, I forgot what it was, the Pokeball, I wouldn't let go of it.
Well, let's go Eevee.
Oh yeah, let's go Eevee. I did not want to give that up. I wanted to keep it.
Yeah,
Jesus.
but let's play Eevee, or let's go Eevee, whatever the hell it's called.
Hello, guys.
Oh.
Yeah, because I brought that game over, and I showed you how you can pet Eevee, and you just looked at me with a extremely soul-sucking stare. Just went, "You're not getting this game back."
I wanted to just stay there and just.
Better.
I'm a sucker for stimulation like that. I don't know why, but
Yeah,
I'm a soft. Yeah, what?
Remember that there was there's an alternate timeline where that was going to be a Psyduck game, and not
What?
Eevee. And yeah, and this is true. That's true. There's actually 2 reasons why the developer switched it out with Eevee. And they said, in retrospect, it's kind of odd to have 2 yellow Pokemon as the stars for 2 separate games, which is a good point. And the second, they said, and then I realized there was a large popularity for Eevee, so he just swapped it out with Eevee instead.
I wonder why.
And he probably went on Twitter and saw all the Eevee art.
People simp for that, and I'm on board.
I love Eevee.
You do.
Eevee and Bulbasaur. And Cyndaquil.
Aww. I don't know. I go for.
You don't love Bulbasaur nearly as much as Michael loves Bulbasaur.
Oh,
Michael's
Obsessed?
Michael.
Hyper fixated.
EV is eBay, says Charlie. Hi.
Very funny.
I don't know, if I got a ferret, I'd be happy.
Ferret's also great. I love Ferret.
Ferret is wonderful.
Lapras.
I love Ferret
Lugia.
and Centret. The fat boy that turns into long boy.
Yes!
Do-do-do-do-do-do-do.
Ferret's just wholesome.
I
Personified.
can walk. She can
Oh, look at that. The wine aunt's got a wine glass.
Oh,
with orange soda.
hell yeah.
That what a wasteful wine glass.
No! Coca-Cola,
It helps me
Pepsi Gloss.
control how much
I
I
don't give
drink.
a damn.
Uh-huh.
No, because you don't fill wine glasses to the brim when you drink wine. So if I just pretend that everything's like wine and you only fill it a little bit, it helps control when you're drinking sugary beverages.
I want to fill a wine glass with chocolate milk.
What the
Now that's just sinning.
Do you not know me? I sin daily.
It's the lighting. So yeah, this is the next piece. This is still very rough. This is actually a black stretch canvas. So you're adding light tones instead of, you know, making things darker. And we're going to have a little Raichu under the rain, and it basically frames itself with that. And most of the color will be under this Pokeball umbrella, and then there will just be little puddles and raindrops scattered about the black area. But I like black canvases because it makes you want to play with the negative space while still incorporating it. We're not going to do a whole lot with this one because besides concept sketching, which I don't know how entertaining that is for everyone else, but you know, it's part of the process. And hopefully we can at least prime Raichu with some white because he has to be the brightest thing besides the umbrella. So prime him up with some white paint and everything, and then we'll be good. I need to pull up a Raichu reference on my screen.
I will say that dark backgrounds with lighter lines hits my aesthetic. And I feel like it's easier for me to sketch on that too, especially seeing the lines better.
Yeah,
But
I'm
this is gonna be good.
using a yellow watercolor pencil actually because it shows up better and they erase pretty good. And they're water soluble, so it's not going to like muddy up the paint
Ooh.
whenever I eventually do it. Chat, what is your favorite Pokemon?
That's a good question.
I was gonna answer that earlier.
Apple
what?
juice. That's a great Pokemon.
Nice, good.
I love
That's
apple
A+.
juice, the Pokemon.
I love their special attack, fiber.
I love refrigerators.
I love refrigerators.
Still say Raichu would have been a better unlockable clone of a Pichu in Melee.
Pichu's useless.
Yeah.
Useless diaper baby. Raichu, big fighting baby.
We got... chastise me if I pronounce these wrong, because I'm still a Pokemon boomer.
Zatu.
Pancham.
Pancham.
Oh, Litten's
Litten?
the starting cat fire Pokemon from
Oh, shit.
Sword and
look it up.
Shield? Yes.
Litten.
It evolves into Incineroar, you know, that giant wrestler cat that everyone makes
Oh,
stories of.
furry bait?
Yeah, furry bait.
Cool.
Little black and red Shadow the Hedgehog looking cat.
I kind of like it. It's cute.
I like it too.
Oh,
I insult the
Swampert
things I
and
love.
Milotic.
Oh, Milotic is great.
Swampert. Oh, it's this one. Cool. And... Oh, yes. Yes, I would love to have a Milotic.
My favorite starter Pokemon is Rowlet, the owl, the grass owl. He is Precious Beam. And I will protect him from any harm that comes his way.
Litwick.
Oh, Litwick's like the little baby candle that evolves into the
It's
chandelier.
cute.
Very cute. It's
It reminds me
yeah.
very much of a Kingdom Hearts villain.
Yeah,
Baddie.
yeah, it does. One of the things, and I think I told Lizzie about it, because Lizzie loves ghost types, but I never really liked the original ghost types, so, you know, Haunter and evolved forms of Ghastly and all that stuff. But when you got to Johto or something like that, and you have stuff like Misdreavus and stuff, I feel like I like the aesthetic of those ghost types more because they went more gothic than just here's a purple.
Oh, dude, Xerneas. I've said I'm a sucker for a lot of things on this stream so far, but I'm a sucker for deer. Just deer.
From Gen 1 Charizard, from Gen 2 Meganum, and from Gen 3 Swampert. Blastoise! Who doesn't love a good Blastoise?
Hell yeah.
I used to, Yes?
Go on.
Oh no, I was just gonna say one of my favorite people to play in Smash Brothers is Pokemon Trainer.
Ooh.
Because I like the variety.
Deerling. Literally anything that's like quadruped or equine mammal looking things, I'll go for it.
I was going to do the umbrella thing where you add those little like you know, that little triangle pattern that you put at the bottom of a umbrella, but I feel like that would take away from the fact the umbrella's a Pokeball.
Ah.
So I think we're going to keep it simple and just have it be a round umbrella.
What was that website that you were on that we were looking at? Like literally all the
Pokedex.com.
Pokemon. Pokedex.com. Because I saw a lot of designs that really piqued my interest.
That really carameled your apples.
Yeah, really buttered my croissant.
Really kettled my corn.
And they're all in the right generation number or thing.
Yeah, they're in chronological order, so from 001 onwards.
Awesome. Generation 1, I think I had a thing for Sandslash.
Sandslash, they have an Alolan form of Sandslash now that's an ice type, and it looks like he's wearing a very puffy jacket.
Oh, that's precious.
Yeah. I really like the concept they introduced in Sword and Shield, where there are Pokemon that have different types depending on the location. And they've continued that in the newest game, because there's a Galar version, like a Galar region form of Meowth that he can evolve into. So besides Persian, he can evolve into like this fucking rat boy.
What?
Not rat boy, he just looks scraggly and gross.
Oh, I think I might have seen it. Oh, wait. Yeah, he looks like a gremlin.
Yeah, and then there's the Galar form of Weezing that has like smokestack top hats. It's so cute.
Oh, that is cute. It's got a mustache.
He's got a mustache. I think my favorite like alternate skin that's come from these newest things is the Alolan version of Muck that looks like an oil spill. So he's all rainbowy and stuff. I think that's pretty neat.
Ooh, almost has a. I was gonna say iridescent, but it's not purpley enough for iridescent. Yeah, it looks like an oil spill.
Oh my god, look up the Alolan version of Raichu. It's so cute.
Alright, let's get you. Oh my god!
I know.
I want 20.
They made him such a soft boy.
He looks like a soft boy. There's a frame of him carrying pancakes. Oh, I'm putting that in mods. Actually, no. Screw it. It belongs in Lakootness. It's going in Lakootness.
Just kind of
He's got
wondering
pancakes for you.
how a Pokemon that doesn't have fingers holds things.
My Little Pony logic. I don't know.
I mean, maybe I can have... Because his hands are so far apart.
Oh my god.
So maybe I could
Can't
just
even
have...
touch fingies.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be like Kirby when he claps in, Smash Brothers and it doesn't touch.
Oh, Chris, I bet you would love the Alolan version of, shit. Wait, does Eevee have an Alolan version?
No, I mean,
Vulpix does.
Yeah, Vulpix has Vulpix is a Alolan version, and thus Ninetales is an Ice type.
Oh my god, that's
So they're like they're pure white, and Vulpix's hair goes all poofy.
Oh, jeez. And the Galarian version of, Ponyta. Oh my, it's Cotton Candy Princess. I love it! Oh, pardon me gushing.
It's just nice to hear people have positive opinions about the more recent Pokemon stuff, because it feels like people in the Pokemon fandom just want to be pissed at things. Though I guess you can
Everyone
make that...
everywhere.
Yeah, I guess you can just say that's a universal rhetoric.
Even more so now during quarantine,
Yeah,
but...
because folks got nothing better to do than to complain about fake pocket monsters.
Galarian Slowpoke. Instant favorite.
Snom. Snom with a knife. Snom
I love that
with a
front butt, dude.
front butt. Snom is a precious front butt boy, and we support him in this household.
Oh. Oh, it's so cute. Oh, Snom's got a gun. I like the knife better.
I like the knife better. It's just that right amount of threatening. It's like the crab with the knife. You know the one.
Yes.
I feel like if I tilt this umbrella a bit, it'll make more sense.
Oh, Cubone and Marowak. Two more of my favorite Pokemon from Generation 1. Wait, is that Generation 1?
Marowak, yeah, is Gen 1.
I swear I'm gonna slip up and say something's from a different generation. I'm gonna be chastised for it! Rightfully so. But still!
He looks like he's jacked on 30 gallons of... I guess that's... I guess this person was talking about the Alolan, not Alolan, the Galar Meowth, and you are right. Alolan Meowth is great, though. Alolan Meowth's like a sassy man.
Oh, hell yeah. Sassy is, that light purple.
Oh, go look up the Alolan Persian, like the evolved form of Meowth. It is so doofy. He hates Mondays.
Why does he have a round head?
I know. It's like Garfield.
I want to feed it some lasagna.
Gia Johnny instead of Giovanni.
Let's go to mods. I am hungry. I want some lasagna.
Or my name is in June Urbuckle.
Yeah, I'll stick with the,
Should I give the chat context to that, or...
it.
No.
Aww.
Watch Garfield and Friends, that's your context. Watch a classic.
That's your homework.
Eevee, Vaporeon, Jolteon, Flareon. Ah, which one do I radiate? We already talked about this like months ago, but still I forgot. Which evolution is your favorite?
Oh, Espeon.
Chat. Espeon? Oh, hell yeah.
Espeon is Chrissy's choice. I know that Chris is just gonna say Eevee.
He looks the original. Just
Yeah,
soft
he's
boy.
he's like the boy in that one episode of the anime that his family wanted him to evolve the Eevee into something, and he refused not to.
Huh. Best evolution is Dialga? What the what?
Dialga's not... Spinny Boy.
Oh, you... You sarcastic little bitch. I love you. You facetious, nonsense-speaking I love my daughter.
Uh-huh.
She's not my
Torn
daughter. I
between
did not birth anyone.
Torn between Espeon and Umbreon. Ah, the fight between the psychic and the dark.
So, what's all this hate against Dragonite?
It's because his pre-evolved forms just look so much more graceful that it just clashes.
Oh, Dratini, Dragonair, and Oh, I see it now.
I feel like Dragonite would have been less controversial if he was blue.
Dragon Tales, Dragon Tales. It's
It's
almost time for Dragonite.
Tales. Oh, you know what? I used to love Horsey. I was like my two favorite types are psychic types and water types. So, you know, I love Vaporeon and I love Espeon, which you know, those are just my babies and I love them. But Misty was my favorite trainer because I love the water gyms. I think consistently water Pokemon get some of the best designs. Like most of the I mean most people like the fish that come from Pokemon. I think what I'm gonna do, because I'm still working out this hand holding the umbrella, but that's the only part of his body that kind of goes out of this loop. So I think the rest of his body is solid, so I'm just gonna prime what I know is going to be fine. Just so we can get, just so I'm not stuck.
During this whole thing, I was actually reading up on Lupin Central, which is a fan site that typically has some pretty good articles. You'll like this, Tia. Because I was curious, like, you know, what are we going to see in the future? Well, funny enough, it's the 50th anniversary of the anime next year.
Whoa! Next year?
Yeah, remember, the anime, not the franchise as a whole.
Yeah.
Because that's about 54 years? When was 1967?
Long. I mean, let's okay. Last year was Scooby-Doo, and Scooby-Doo was 69, so 2 back. So
58. Wait.
Mega Charizard.
Because yeah, they had the 50th last year for Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And Scooby premiered in 69. So if you have, 53. Yes, there you go.
Oh yeah, so 53 years. But next year, in October, 50 years since Lupin Part 1 premiered, October 24th, 1971. So apparently they are working on a 50th anniversary anime special. And there's apparently still plans to continue the Lupin, the... how do you say this? The woman called Fujiko spinoff. You know, Lupin the... Yeah, Lupin the Triple I Erd.
The Black Jacket Lupin.
Yes. So, you know, Jigen's Greystone, Goemon's Blood Spray, Fujiko's Lie. There's apparently going to be one that focuses on Zenigata.
As you can tell, I am very excited.
I know.
So, we're watching that. Chubby.
Part of me is tempted, like, if I decide if I should make this a low-in Raichu or not. I think I'm going to go with classic Raichu, though. And then maybe one day I'll make an alternate that uses, like, a white canvas, and it's, a low-in Raichu, and he's, using, like, a parasol or something, and it's a sunny day.
Yes, I love parasols.
Because,
I've got like 3 of them in my
he's
possession.
tropical. He's... Oh, no, it could wear a sun hat. Like an oversized one, because Pokemon don't have clothes. He's just a little rat boy.
Aww.
With giant-ass feet.
Oh, come on, those stompers are cute.
I mean, you're right. It's just the thing, that was the thing I discovered when drawing Raichu for the first time, was like, he's got some big-ass tootsies.
Compared to Pikachu's, yeah.
Very much compared to Pikachu's.
No.
I need a smaller brush.
He stands planigrade, that's why he's got such big-ass feet.
Mm-hmm.
If he were to stand digigrade, he'd be standing on his toes. A Mega Raichu.
I want food gummy.
Oh, I'm sorry, the one that Michael made is just replaying in my head.
When he dubbed it.
Yep.
I want food gummy.
Oh, Zorark. Yes. Bipedal mammal-looking things. Also quadruped. Just anything furry bait. I'll take it.
I could be more generous with going outside of the lines with this priming, because under the umbrella will be an actual, like, peak of a landscape, so things will be covering up that. I just have to be careful around here with the feet.
Have your steady hand.
Yeah, that's why people are going to get a peek at good old Chrissy head, because I have to be close to observe my stroke.
Look at those colors. Hair colors, yum, delicious.
I gotta re-dye it.
I gotta wait for mine to grow out and cut it, because those crusty ass hair that I got from that stripping of it, oh, that dye did not do anything for my hair aside from make it look pretty, but it feels like fake hair.
The Jinx salon.
Sure, I have a hairdresser for a friend, but she didn't buy the right stuff, so... Plus, it was kind of limited because, you know, quarantine. People stocking up on literally everything they don't need!
You know what we need? Hair bleach.
Yeah!
You never know when we need to blend in with the Karens.
Oh, no.
Just get a wig. Your hair's short enough.
The hell you talking to?
Yes.
Okay. I'm wheezing a lot. My voice is just terrible.
Wee wee.
Tayo!
Tayo!
Wee wee.
Tayo! Watch Osumatsu.
Ozumatsu-san.
Osumatsu-san!
It's the modern one, because, you know, there are multiple.
I forgot.
Well, no,
about
because
that.
there's only one Ozumatsu-san. The others are Ozumatsu-kun.
Osumatsu-kun. What about Osumatsu-chan?
No, there isn't an Ozumatsu-chan.
It'd all be females if they did that, goddammit.
They already do gender bends in Ozumatsu-san.
I know.
People
I'm
always
just saying.
ask Ozumatsu, but they never ask Huzumatsu.
I love you, Key.
Thank you. I'm here all week. Which, by the way, folks, I'll be putting a poll on Twitter probably tomorrow, asking what game night we want to do, because we could do Getting Over It again. We can continue.
Yeah, because now you have some big feet these are big shoes. You gotta beat me.
It's okay, take your time.
It's okay, take your time. Yeah, but we could do Getting Over It, we could continue Sonic, or we could play a good game. Because I will be doing
Like Garfield Kart?
Yeah, like Garfield. I was gonna put Garfield Kart in the poll. I will be doing Dark Souls. Don't get me wrong. I need to finish Sonic Adventure first, so that way I don't have 3 anger-inducing games in rotation. You know, I gotta be kind to myself a little bit. Also, you fuckers voted for I Am Bread for the next Stream Goal game, so prepare for me experimenting to see what's your guys' threshold for wanting to fund my misery.
I don't even think I voted.
I did.
Yeah, I guess what Chris voted for.
Something that'll probably destroy you mentally.
Yeah, Bread. The game he's unnaturally good at, like Getting Over It.
Chris, you...
Don't look at me, I voted Kaizo Mario. Thank you, Charlie. Oh, apparently they released the new Batman trailer during this stream.
Oh,
Cool.
I saw that on Twitter briefly.
I've heard, Brett told me that it looks interesting. I have no idea what it's gonna be about.
Robert Pattinson?
Yeah, Robert Pattinson. Or is he still the cast choice?
Last I heard.
I heard that Michael Keaton's gonna be reprising Batman for the Flash movie.
That'd be cool.
Are we just gonna make it so Justice League never happened? Because if they're gonna make because, you know...
No, because the Snyder Cut's coming out.
Well,
We got a trailer for that,
how
too.
How do you do a Flash movie, then? Because Flash was like a young kid, like a young 20-something in Justice League. Or is Michael Keaton just gonna be, Ben Affleck's Batman, just not Ben Affleck?
Oh. To quote something that we had last night, Chair, I can't relate to any of you.
Change the world. My final message. Goodbye.
I will admit those things do give me kind of a fight or flight thing.
They're just creepy. You know what? I was thinking about it last night. I know what that feeling that it was like something to equate the feeling to of those postmodern disassociative episode pictures made showed, and that meme. The I Feel Fantastic video.
No!
Yeah, the I Feel Fantastic. Hey, 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 hey. Specifically the random shot of someone's yard or the woods, and it's like...
Oh yeah, people coming up with theories that he killed someone in his backyard and someone's buried in there.
I mean, does anyone know where that video came from? Besides just YouTube?
Someone do research. That someone will be me. I feel fantastic.
From what I heard, it was actually on a website first before it got uploaded to YouTube. I looked it up a long time ago.
The horrifying history of Terra the android, the 13th floor. Would it be on Know Your Meme?
Maybe? I don't think it's a meme. But, you know, a lot of things that aren't memes are on Know Your Meme. Because I think Know Your Meme goes by the definition of just something that has a sense of virality and goes into the public consciousness and not just top text, bottom text.
It is on Know Your Meme. I just want something that'll give me, like, I don't want to go through all the exposition. I want to know where it came from.
My attention span is very small.
Exactly. Oh, an android singing a song in a mysterious house. Origin. The video first surfaced on the internet in 2004 along with other videos/songs with the same android named Terra, created by a man named John Bergeron.
That's just a name of someone you shouldn't trust. Like,
Programmer to sing songs here.
If anyone has the last name that has Eon at the end of it, that person's a scientist and you know has dissected someone in their basement.
Yeah. And buried them in their backyard.
Hey, 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 hey. I remember last night because I love, not last night, but I remember one night because I love my friends. All I did was look up a cursed video playlist of like unsettling cursed videos and just played it, and let's just say that's a test of friendship and I'm glad they passed.
Oh, the test of friendship that we had was Nanoland at 0.5 speed!
Oh, that was a bonding moment. Shoosh, Samado.
Shoosher. Oh. Oh, that is nightmare fuel. Just put it in a sepia something overlay over it. It just, ugh.
When you find pictures and all you have to do is change the color grading and it suddenly goes from romantic to horrifying.
Mm-hmm.
I remember there was videos I loved to watch, which was like taking a scene and changing the music of it so it completely changed the context of the scene. And it makes you realize how creepy some interpretations of what romance is.
Yeah.
Because, you know, when you put, like, flowery music behind it, it's so quirky, and then when you put horror music behind it, but it's the same dialogue, it's like,
It becomes Candle Cove. Oof.
Oh yeah, I loved Candle Cove. I watched it as a kid.
Dog!
Guys,
You're not
don't...
protecting anything, you're just loud!
I mean, guys, don't you remember Candle Cove? I used to watch it, like, every Saturday morning. One of the few puppet shows on the air. Oh, Spinny Boy's not happy with me.
I'm sorry, Pulsar. I love you, but we'll talk later in the Discord.
She has no power here. I'm the captain now. Protect the house!
Oh, please. I'm gonna go quiet him down.
No, Mama. I'm protecting.
Milo! Bring your heckin' ass over here.
I take like a hard brush and like put some water on it if I can. Hey, okay, there we go. I can clean up some mistakes.
Yow Piglet says, Keyframe, have you seen any scary movies?
I watched Doctor Sleep a couple weeks ago. That was good.
Yeah.
I love horror movies. Most of my friends can attest I really like horror, psychological, macabre stuff. More than you would expect from me. I'm not soft ooh. I'm soft ooh.
Okay.
What?
You should not be proud of that.
I'm not, but I'm still laughing because I just realized I entered an advanced state of stupor.
The real question is, what's genuinely, like, gotten under your skin?
Like, from a movie or just in general?
No shit. Yeah, from a movie.
Okay, it's not a movie, but it's a short film. From Love, Death, and Robots, there was a short where this woman was fell out, like her strapped to her satellite dish or whatever that she was in, and she was going into space, and she basically had to get her arm ripped off so she could catapult herself back to her spaceship, and that was one of the most uncomfortable feelings I've ever felt.
Sounds amazing.
It's a great short, but
I've been meaning to watch Love, Death, and Robots when people basically said to me that it culminated based on the people wanting to do heavy metal, but then losing the rights to heavy metal, so they just made that.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's the long and short of it, yes.
I don't think anyone would think of Key and soft ooh.
You'd be surprised.
This Edge boy says Insidious was hilarious.
I don't want to hear you
Yes,
say
and
Ubu ever again.
and Silence of the Lambs is funny depending on your empathy and intelligence.
So you need to have a high IQ to laugh at Silence of the Lambs.
Honestly, if I were to watch anything that were horror, it has to be psychological horror. I can't get behind the whole jump scare thing because that's just oh, you're surprised? You're not scared? Good.
Psychological horror is much better, anyways. Like, I think that utilizes the horror genre more than like a gory horror movie. Not to say gore doesn't work well when you space it out. It's just the thing of, like, one of my favorite Wes Craven movies. There is a lot of gory shots. Like, there's a woman that gets her intestines pulled out, but it's done. But you know, it's not Saw, where every second scene someone's about to get their leg ripped off.
I made a bad choice watching Saw.
Saw's just funny, in my opinion.
Saw is a comedy.
I've got a weak stomach. I can't handle gore like that.
I don't like him very much, but I loved his, I loved YMS's, like, series review of Saw.
Mm-hmm.
And I love how he talks about how it was actually something that I remember when I saw, like, bits and pieces of those movies where I went, I feel like this Jigsaw Killer's philosophy kind of, I think he tends to contradict it a lot just for plot relevance. You must never kill. Kills people anyway.
Me. Don't kill people. Also me. Time to die. But, I mean, like, didn't they have a band cameo in a movie to die?
In Saw?
Yeah, in Saw. There was one Saw movie where I think the first scene was, like, the members of a band, like an actual band, cameoed and were killed by, like, getting hit by a car or something. Like, the Saw puzzle involved a car.
Oh.
I think that's the problem with the Saw movies, is when you describe it like that, I'm going, that just sounds like Final Destination. But the Saw movies do get that fucking batshit where they're like, fuck it! They're in a glass chamber with a buzzsaw and it's public. It's like, what the fuck is going? They constantly have to up the ante, even though now it's just getting fucking comical. At least the first Saw movie had, like, elements that were impressive, especially given that it had, like, the paranormal activity problem, where it's like, the first film is interesting because it was made on such a short, such a small budget. And really, most of its appeal is in the psychological element, not necessarily the ooh, ooh, ooh. Like, people, when people mention Saw, they talk about the gore. When people mention paranormal activity, they talk about the jump scares. But watch the first films. There is still more to it than that. It's just the subsequent sequels put more emphasis on that part. Because that's all any of the fucking, yeah, dude, fucking Saw when he cut his hand and have fucking crazy shit, bro.
Totally tits
like people
down.
like that.
Want to practice kissing?
That crowd. I've actually never seen The Sixth Sense. It's one of my cinema sins. I've also never seen Alien and Aliens, despite owning a box set of them.
How dare you?
I didn't pay for the box set. I didn't spend money and then not watch them. I acquired them. And for those who don't understand, it's because of one of my relatives who was living here. We had to put a restraining order on him. And since by the judge's orders, he had 30 days to send someone to get his things, he never sent anyone. So legally, they're my property. Legally, if they are in your house, they are your property. If, in this particular case,
there is a period of time where something becomes forfeited goods.
Yes, and I believe it's got to be at least a couple years, right?
6 months.
It's been 3 years.
Nice.
They are mine. But yeah, no, because of that, I acquired most of his most of his collection, and he had some really nice things.
Roll in it.
I did. They're all on my shelf. That's why when you were giving me sass a while ago, I was like, why you own things you don't watch? Like, I didn't buy everything that I own. Some of these I acquired due to legal reasons. I just haven't gotten around to watching.
I was mostly talking about the things you buy, and you're just like, hey, gonna keep this on a shelf, gonna put them in a glass case, gonna look at them and be like, yeah, I own these. Gonna go play
I am proud to say I do not own a glass case anywhere in that room.
I know.
There is nothing behind glass yet. And the only reason anything would need to go behind glass is if I bought something that is legitimately like, you cannot touch that. And I'm talking
that,
shit that's like
that Castle of Cagliostro castle thing.
Yeah, like something that's genuinely like stupid expensive. Like, there's an item I would love to own, but like, whew, good luck. There's an old, like, 20-plus-year-old music box for Aerith's theme from Final Fantasy VII. And a lot of people know that that theme is very precious to me. That music box averages between $3,000 to $5,000.
Oh my
And
God.
the thing is, if I ever acquire that, which I do not think I will anytime soon, but if I did, it's going behind glass.
Lottery, or I killed someone
Exactly.
who had a lottery ticket.
But that's if I came into a lot of disposable income. Well, honestly, it still probably wouldn't even be the first thing I would buy. The first thing I would do is I'd probably buy a rental home.
You would buy your best friend Chrissy that giant set of all the you know, the one.
Urusei Yatsura.
Yeah, the Urusei Yatsura DVD
Honestly,
collection.
my dear, by the time I came into such money, they would probably have since reissued that show.
Ah,
'Cause I believe-
wish.
I believe there are plans. I think Discotek has the rights to Urusei, and they're working out releases. Because in Japan, I believe there are Blu-rays of the Urusei
I know for
series.
a fact there is. It's just that Urusei is that fucking anomaly where it's such an omnipresent thing in Japan, but as soon as you leave the Japanese borders, buckus.
Discotek will probably save it. We know them. We love them. I mean, without them, Lupin wouldn't even be
In the States.
genuinely. What I love about Discotek, and the only reason Lupin is in the States is because the guy that runs Discotek is a fan. That's it.
Oh.
He just loves Lupin. He's like, yeah, I want to put Lupin out in the States. It doesn't make a lot of money. I don't care, but release another anime that gets a lot of money. That way you can fund more Lupin. I love that. I would do the same thing. I would just like, yeah, put out this piece of shit. Who cares if it funds more of this? I like this shit.
Yeah. But no.
The first thing I would buy, I would get a rental home and preemptively pay for like a decade of rent. Just so I could be like, all right, I can sit comfortably for a while and not have to worry. And I'd also buy a Fiat 500. Not just because of the Lupin Association, but mostly because, one, I'm Italian, and two, the size. I've talked about that I get paranoid behind a wheel of a regular sized car because I can't perceive the space very well like I can, say, a bicycle.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes me more prone to feel like I'm going to crash or hit something. And I just don't like that. But a Fiat is such a confined space that I look at it and just go, yeah, I could drive that and feel more of the space of the vehicle. Plus, again, it's a Fiat.
Yeah.
Imagine it could pay for itself if I did like a thing where it's like, first of all, one, I could bring it to car shows. It's a Fiat 500. A yellow Fiat 500. I'll go to the car shows dressed as Lupin. That's the other thing. I could bring it to conventions dressed as Lupin, and it'd be like, yeah, you can take a photo with the car for $5.
You can sit in
Which-
the car for 40.
I will not trust anyone to sit in the car.
What do you think's gonna happen if they sit in it?
They'll fart in it.
I'm sorry. The thing I imagine is someone going into the car, closing all the windows, and just shitting themselves.
I hate that on a live stream, what made you laugh this loud was a fucking fart joke.
I never said I was cultured. I said I was astute. And that's because ass is in the word.
I mean, clarify with me, people. Is $5 a fair price to get a photo with a genuine yellow Fiat?
Oh, God.
Especially for a nerd crowd that probably understands the significance of such a vehicle.
I mean, I would pay $500. I would pay $5. I would pay $5 to take a picture with the mystery machine.
Especially if I'd be fair enough to be like, it's $5, but take as many photos as you want.
I mean, it's the thing of like getting close to it to take the pictures. Like you can take pictures from
Exactly.
a distance, but to get behind the red curtain kind of thing.
Well, yeah, I would definitely be like, $5, obviously get up to the Fiat. I don't want you to take it from a distance. That's lame.
If you
But
had
it's
$2
like,
million,
$5 to take
what would
a.
you do? Someone asked.
I think that's pretty much what I was answering. I would
Yeah, that
buy
was your answer.
a Fiat 500, and because a Fiat 500 is like a $15,000 to $20,000 car, so it's obviously not cheap. It's not expensive. There are obviously way more expensive cars out there, but it is the fact that there is outside of Lupin, it's a very notable vehicle, especially where my family originates, in Italy. So there is a justifiable price to that. And again, I would also buy like a decade's worth of rent for a house, maybe even just this house if I was still here. I think that if anyone came into such money, I would only. So it's like, I'm gonna go on vacation. It's like, be more practical with it, because if you're gonna come into that much money, it's not crazy to think that such money, or at least like half of that, could come into you again.
If I got $2 million, let's go with what the person asked. Most, if not all of it, would go into savings. I think about what would happen if I got, like, let's say Mr. Beast came into a stream and gave me a shit ton of money. If I did that, I would, one, figure out how much I would have to get put away for taxes, because that's just a reality of the situation. Then most of it would just go into savings. So I would, I would still work. Like, I would still work at DA Games. I would still do freelance and stuff, but it would be just to add to that pool. I would pay off my bill. I would make enough money that I knew I would pay off my bills. And then, the rest of the money is like a cushion. I would, of course, probably treat my friends and spoil them, because to me, I have a comfortable amount as is. I don't need anything. And the only thing that really comes to my mind when I imagine getting a big amount of money is, how do I make the people I care about more comfortable? Because I would want the same for me. It's a very treat people the way you want to be treated kind of thing. So I know for a fact I would put a big amount of money away for my nephews for like a trust fund for when they get older, so that way they don't have to worry about anything, because Lord knows what's going to happen in the next generation. I know one thing I would do is fund a trip for me, Brett, Lauren, and Max to go to New York, and I would show them where I grew up and all that stuff, and I would pay for everything and make sure they have the best time. Because that's all I really want to do, is just make people happy. And money doesn't buy happiness, it's what you buy with the money that can cause happiness.
Mm-hmm.
Sitting on a pile of money doesn't make you happy, it just gives you paper cuts on your ass.
And it makes people angry.
Mr. Beast and Keyframe collab. I wish. I want to be in one of those Mr. Beast videos where you're sitting in like a fucking pool of pudding and last one to get out wins, because I have a high tolerance for pain and annoyance, and I would just sit and no one can make me get out.
$1 million. Christ.
I can't visualize that amount of money. I have to visualize like things that you buy with it to kind of have that grasped.
I mean, I can visualize that on a check.
You know what I would do? One of the things I would do if I had a good amount of money.
Mm-hmm.
I'd probably buy some, like, you know, small homes and be a landlord, but be a good landlord, because Lord knows those are rare.
Mm.
Like, I would find families that maybe they have a bad credit score because of something that happened, or, you know, they're backed on medical bills, and, you know, they are not a high-income family, and basically have the place be temporary housing, cover their rent and utilities that the house would have to accrue for a few months so they can get back on their feet. I would check with them, help them with employment, essentially be the most comfortable kind of halfway house.
Yeah.
And if they want to stay in that home, then, you know, then you actually then they can have rent. But it would be a reasonable rent, because I don't need money. I make a good amount, and Lord knows, you know, the business expense, the business and charity expense you can take off with something like that would be enough of a return investment, you know, if you're going to talk in business terms. But I would rather use my money to help people I would make trickle-down economics feasible in my small impact I could leave on this world. Like, I can't help everyone, but that doesn't stop me from wanting to help as much as I can. Because, you know, a lot of people have that fucking mentality that, you know, what I'm going to do is not going to change the world on a global scale. And it's like, no, maybe it won't. But that doesn't negate that the domino effects you have around you that you can create is not any less of, you know, an impact factually. We can't control the world as a global power. We are merely 1, 2, 3 small population of humans. But that doesn't mean to just sit on your laurels and not try to make the existence you have one that's beneficial to the world, to your part of the world. We all have our little part of the world that interacts with other people's parts. So, with that in mind, why would you ever want to not try to make the world as good as possible?
Yeah.
Leave the world better than you came into it, even if it's in just the smallest ways of knowing that you made a couple people happy. Maybe it's your part of your family, or the friends that you've made, or, you know, some random strangers that you volunteered to help. Like, it's something that is hard to visualize, because in the age we're in such a land of big pictures that we never try to itemize it and shrink it down and be kind of like, you know what? I have made a difference. And that's enough. Because you're you. And being you is enough. I feel like
come
that.
Back to wholesome key.
You know, that always happens during the art streams. I get all real talk. Because during the gaming streams, I'm usually laughing and screaming at a cartoon hedgehog and Lizzie. So.
Mm-hmm.
Keyframe is a good bean. Thank you, Magical Dude. And thank you, Charlie. Do you guys stab your erasers with pencils, or are you normal? I mean, you could see that I've been chipping my eraser, Spinny, so... I used to like to make coffins out of my like rectangle erasers. Hey Keyframe, I want to sell t-shirts and bracelets so I can make extra money, mostly because I want to give my folks extra money. I feel like I owe them because they are so awesome. How do I start? Well, for t-shirts, most places like Teespring is a good place to start. You know, for small, because that, you're not investing any real money. You just put the print design up there, you have a link and a little front, and there you go. If you're hand making bracelets, then Etsy, or if you want to make a word of mouth thing and want to not have, Etsy cut into your profits, then work on your social media presence, and then you could sell them via Twitter DM and stuff. A lot of that stuff is just the power of social marketing and that kind of stuff, which you're in a world now where you can learn anything on the internet, so look up stuff about building a social media presence for businesses and stuff. I mean, it's a small business, mind you, but, when you're selling your products and making something, whether it's homebrew or mass production, you're almost a business, so you should think with some form of business mind. So, that's my advice to you, my friend. What you painting, Kiki? I'm just priming up Raichu, so that way he stands out of the, the rest of the negative space of the painting, because he's the main character. I have to redraw his ears. His ears are the hardest part of his fucking body, because it's the only thing that's not just a chub. But, yeah. We are 2 hours in. I think I'll take a break on this, and the final thing we'll work on today. I mean, look how cute he's looking. Look at that.
Yeah, he's chubby.
Look at that little belly.
Look at that junk.
And we did fix the perspective of the umbrella a bit. I'm probably going to play more with it, so the handle looks a bit more correct, but we're getting there. The final thing we're going to work on today, because I had an idea for a painting I was going to work on stream, but I need to fix some parts to make it advertiser friendly, because I drew like a full female body, and I know hair is going to cover up the bits, but I haven't drawn the hair yet, because I needed to visualize where the body was going to be, because that way I could have differentiated the hair. Point being, I don't want to get demonetized, and people think that I put a hoo-ha on stream, which is, no, she had Barbie doll anatomy. But for this, we actually are taking the acrylic paints away, because I plan to relaunch my store later next month, and one of the things I want to do is have a little print that comes with every order that's like a thank you print. And I want that to be a traditional piece that I'm going to scan in and have, because I feel like that makes it unique. And I have ideas for it, and I'm probably going to change what the print is like every month or so. But the first idea I'm going to have is just a simple bust of my squishy face self, and then there's going to be inside of my hair, which is going to look space like, my characters, so like the pony, Abby and Theo, and all that kind of stuff, and make it very personal and very me. So, yeah. We'll see if we can get to the watercolor part, because we're going to make it a watercolor painting. We'll see if we get there. I kind of want to keep this stream to 2.5 hours, maybe 2 hours and 45 minutes, but we only get the sketch done, then progress is progress. It just feels good to work on my own things, because let me tell you, this week, didn't get a lot of stuff for myself done. It was a lot of being a working lady. Working 9 to 5, that kind of shit. One of the next art streams I plan to do, I'm still debating whether to do it as a traditional stream or as a digital stream, is hashing out further ideas for the Kickstarter that I'm going to do next month. Which I guess is the YouTube announcement. I did say it a little bit on Twitter, but I'm going to be doing an enamel pin Kickstarter, which is going to be exciting. I've seen Sophie Scruggs do a lot of them, and it's inspired me. And I did a poll a few months ago, seeing what would people like, and Monster Girls won, and I already have a couple ideas, like concepts and stuff, and feel like it would be nice to hash them out and stream a bit more, get some audience interaction with it and everything, and you know, have more eyes looking at it. So, yeah.
Yeah, boy.
God, it doesn't feel like a Saturday.
No.
But do any days feel like days anymore? The sun goes up, the sun goes down, but I don't know if it's just the day rewinding.
God, I even have my schedule back on track, and I still don't know what day it is.
I have my schedule pretty back on track too. I've been going to bed in like the 11 o'clock stages, like 11 o'clock to 11:45. It's weird.
Same. I mean, I did cheat last night. Went to bed at like 3 in the morning, but I gotta fix that.
Yeah, how dare you?
Ah, I know. I've been bad.
You know, naughty.
No.
You're going to have to go in the forever box.
Uh-oh.
You did a fucky wucky get into the forever box.
Oh God,
I'm
you're killing me.
ceasing this right now.
What are you doing?
I'm ceasing this conversation.
What, I'm getting a C and D for freedom of speech?
Goddamn right.
How dare you? This is my stream.
I'm waiting for it.
This is my server.
I didn't say it, you did.
This is the
You were
same
thinking it, though.
It's the same argument as a teenager going, "It's my room. This is my house."
Ow.
Yes, and the parent is right. It's my house.
Yeah, but everyone deserves their space of privacy.
Yeah.
Especially when
How
you're
is this private?
No, I'm talking about the teenager thing.
Well, yes.
Hey, Chris, remember that one Adult Swim show that was really bad? The $1 Million Extreme one?
Oh, yeah.
I rewatched some of those skits. They didn't get funny.
How was that? I didn't think they would.
I kind of was trying to see the because, you know, when Joey gave the context on the person, I was like, okay, maybe I'd understand it a bit more now. No, it still feels wrong.
The thing is, I love Joey, but sometimes I question, like, certain things about him.
I mean...
Especially, it's like... It's always like... I'm trying to figure out a way to put this without it seeming...
bad?
Yeah. He sometimes borders on certain, mindsets where I'm like, you know, if I didn't know you better, I would understand why people would think you're one of these. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna flip this over.
I don't want to say alt-right because Joey does not, you know, he's not an alt-right. But it's just like he does definitely come off as he comes off more conservative than I think he wants to. Yeah. And I don't mean that as a negative because I don't have a problem with conservatives in general. It doesn't matter to me. But it's there are some times where just like, I think in this case, Joey, you're objectively wrong here. Sometimes, especially when it was going on about like the guy who is like the head of $1 Million Extreme, where I'm just like, I don't know, man. Like, you could do a funny thing here and there, but I watch this guy and I'm genuinely terrified of this person breathing our oxygen.
Especially, I found videos of him just, in general, and it's just like, what? I'm sorry, you can't attack Patton Oswalt thinking that he killed his wife without me thinking
And
he's a shitty person.
In Joey's defense, even he went way too far there. It's like, I don't know, there's certain things you do where I wouldn't just kind of like chuckle like, yeah, he kind of fucked that up. It's like, I would just like stop following the guy, and I don't know, I just don't see what's supposed to be funny about him. And it's like, I get what he's going for with the whole performance artist kind of shit. The Andy Kaufman, why am I blanking on the fucking character he used to play?
There's a difference, though, between...
Tony Clifton.
There's a difference between
Tony
reading
Clifton
The
thing.
Great Gatsby for an entire thing on stage.
He never actually did that.
Really? Is that just an
he
urban
never
legend?
Well, interesting, because I'm assuming you got that from Man on the Moon, the film.
I got that from Love and Boots, actually.
They probably got that from the movie.
Exactly.
The thing is, Man on the Moon is much like Ed Wood. It's the same writers. It's a brilliant film and a great representation of the subject, as in the person. However, in order to achieve that, a lot is fabricated, but intentionally. Andy Kaufman never actually read the entirety of The Great Gatsby to a college, to a college group. He did, however, threaten that he would. Like, the famous bit about how he would start to read it, and then, the whole, would you rather I play the record? Yes! And the record just continued where he left off in the book. He would do that bit, but it never went on as long as Man on the Moon did. But there's actually a lot of things. The late Sam Simon, most of you kids probably know him. He was one of the developers of The Simpsons, along with James L. Brooks and Matt Groening. But the other thing he was known for is that he produced Taxi, the sitcom that Andy Kaufman was on. And there's actually an interview, I think a few months before his passing, Mark Maron did an interview with him, and he brought up Man on the Moon, or specifically parts that he thought happened, and then Sam had to jump in going, well, actually, no, that never happened. Because the big thing in the movie is the Tony Clifton character, the character he would play to fuck with people. In the movie, they portray it that Andy Kaufman put on the Tony Clifton persona to trash the set and basically be, a nuisance, to be deliberately irritable. And Sam Simon said, not only is that factually incorrect, Andy Kaufman was a pleasure to work with. He, respected everyone equally, and not only did he let you know that he was Tony Clifton, he was very professional about, playing some casual jokes on set. But then Sam went on to go, however, Andy would love the way the movie portrayed him. Because the way they spin the events are very Kaufman-esque. So Andy would love it, even though 90% of that movie's made up.
Andy
Same goes for,
is such a omnipresent being in the world of comedy. I mean, you reached a level where people are still, to this day, questioning if you faked your own death or not.
I don't think he did it.
I don't think he did either, but isn't that just an amazing concept that you were so deep into, that you were so revered in the state of your performance art that people do legitimately think that it was all part of a bit?
Yeah. There's a famous Andy Kaufman bit where Andy Kaufman eats ice cream, where he never once tells a joke. He just sits and eats a bowl of ice cream.
I think that may also that merged with the threatening of Great Gatsby was what caused the idea in the movie. That does
Probably.
It feels like a marrying of both. A marriage
Yeah.
of both. Didn't he bring a sleeping bag to stage once?
He might have. I can't recall that one.
You can write a book about all the
In
weird
fact-
things Andy Kaufman does, and there probably are books.
Here's actually the most interesting thing about Man on the Moon. Man on the Moon actually exposed a long speculated theory as fact about Andy Kaufman. During a period, Andy Kaufman went so far with his performance act that he started to do professional wrestling as part of his ruse. During this time, I think the most famous part of it was he had a public feud with Jerry the King Lawler. And there's a famous event where he was on the David Letterman, and Andy Kaufman showed up in a neck brace, and Jerry Lawler was talking about I don't know if this guy's even got if he actually broke his neck, this guy could be messing with me, and Jerry like smacked the shit out of him, and then Andy just like starts swearing up and down, like say words you're not supposed to be saying on that show. Fuck you, you piece of shit, and it just goes on. And it's a very famous event. And it wasn't until the movie, because they got Jerry Lawler to basically play himself in the movie, and it's revealed in that movie that the whole feud was also a ruse, but that was never confirmed at the time. Everyone just speculated that Jerry was also in on it. The movie proved that he did, because they did a whole scene, and obviously because the real Jerry is playing Jerry. And I think in like the documentary they talk about, it's like, oh yeah, we were in on it. It was just a funny thing we thought of. Which I think is fascinating. It took a biographical film to expose a long speculated theory about him. Maybe Kaufman faked his death but hid away for so long that he eventually died before coming back. I've talked about this a while ago. I talked to this about, I don't remember if you were there, Chrissy, but I think we had the conversation of what's a conspiracy theory that in your heart is fake, but you would love it if it was true.
I feel like I was there, but I can't remember what my answer was.
My answer was Elvis Presley faked his death. I know in my heart he's actually dead. But I am fascinated with the idea of Elvis Presley faking his own death, especially with the ludicrous theory of, oh no, he didn't die, a lookalike satellite died, like in Bubba Hotep, which is one of the main reasons I fucking love Bubba Hotep so much. But it's also because my silly strong evidence for Elvis Presley faking his own death is his gravestone had his middle name misspelled. It has long since been corrected, but I love thinking about that. Why would a man like Elvis Presley have a gravestone where no one cared that his middle name was misspelled? Unless they were hiding something?
I think my favorite, and I mean it's a classic, the entirety of the JFK investigation.
We're gonna know. We're gonna know in 2039.
And we will be alive for it. Hopefully.
We will.
What if the Backstreet Boys reunion tour is to stop?
Is to hide the rest of the John F. Kennedy assassination.
Yes.
I mean, there's a Lupin special that even talks about that Alcatraz connection. And I love their theory in Alcatraz Connection, where basically Alcatraz is not actually a prison. The prison part is a front. And underneath Alcatraz is basically a paradise for, all the criminals that were put there. And when Robert Kennedy found out about it, he tried to shut down, which is a great sort of way of, the Kennedys got too close. They had to be taken care of, but they had to be taken care of at separate times so it didn't look suspicious.
I mean,
it's ridiculous, but I think it's great.
I mean, the Kennedy curse is an interesting one, and you know that there's something more with it than what we know.
Hello.
Nothing bad ever happened to the Kennedys.
Hi.
Yes,
hi,
hi,
Lizzie. You're here for the last part of the stream.
Yeah, sorry. I was out, and I was out way longer than I had expected. I thought I was going to be here a bit earlier.
Don't be sorry. This was just a chill stream. We started.
I know.
We started priming up Raichu.
Nice.
And then we also did some more work on. Where did I put Peridot? Peridot, where are you, Peridot?
You know I don't like missing out on the fun stuff.
I know you don't. But yeah, we made more progress on little Perry.
Good. I love her.
I accidentally put my hand on my paint palette, and there is teal paint all over my handsies.
Oh no.
I mean, at least it's teal.
Yeah. At least it's the same color as my fucking nail polish. But okay, Raichu, you're gonna go back over here, away from my gross.
The thing, you know, while I was out though, I had an idea.
Okay.
Cause see, I don't know if I mentioned this, but I got another commission, right? So like after that, I was thinking, I want to do more screenshot redraws because I'm starting to realize just how not only fun they are, but also like they're great exercises in composition.
It's a good learning experience.
It is. They are wonderful exercises in like doing composition and like new different types of poses and even perspectives because that's something I'm really starting to work on more. I need to work on more.
Artists out there, remember that referencing is okay.
I mean, I'm one of the people on Patreon that I patron every month is Senshi Stock, so I can get all their reference packs, and they are so good because not only do they do dynamic posing, they also do good general gesture posing, which you only start to realize when you get into coming up with a series and stuff. How often people are just standing. How much people are just vibing. Not everyone's kicking all the time. I'm really liking this body. This is really nice.
What I've started to realize is that how many different ways a person can stand there are.
Yeah, line of action is a very important thing to learn.
Yeah, it is. And I'm...
Oh, sorry. Continue.
I am just starting to learn that.
Yeah.
Better late than never.
I've been helping Max and Y for people in the chat learn to do more drawing and stuff, and one of the things that I taught him was to take the picture he's referencing and not trace it, but deconstruct it, by drawing on top of it and figuring out what is the character, what parts are they made out of. Because one of his problems was he's good at contour drawing a reference, but, that only puts you into a certain level of muscle memory. And there's nothing wrong with emulating things and redrawing what you see, because eventually that develops into something, because you slowly start to figure out how certain things work and how certain people draw certain things, which is something I'm very happy that he's learning. And it's taking elements that you like from those things and mooshing them together until you come up with something you like. Because everything is derived from something.
Oh yeah, definitely. Nothing's truly original. And emulating is definitely the way that I started when I was a kid. I would always take pictures from like Sonic games or Naruto or any kind of anime that I would watch and just try to draw it on my own, and at least I didn't pass it off as my own. I just said, like, I drew this!
Oh my god, Tia. I'm sorry, Key, go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead. I'm gonna grab something and to continue that point.
But no, like, Tia, like, I used to take the instruction booklets to the Sonic games I had at the time, which would be Sonic Adventure DX and Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, and I would open up to a page with a character on it, and I would try to emulate what I'd see. In fact, one of the times I did that, there used to be a website called Sonic Central, and I posted my artwork on there, and lo and behold, one day it ended up on the fan art page.
A
And that was that was one of the first times that any piece of art that I had drawn ended up on a website.
But yeah, to show something, right here in this janky composition book are the oldest drawings that I own, and they are all screenshot redraws of the characters. I think the beginning of this drawing book I was 7, and I was probably 8 and a half by the end of it. Give or take a year, I don't know. But this was, I remember I had this book back in the New York days, so I was under 10 years old. And you start with Shaggy. And these are done in Crayola colored pencils and crayons. And look, I was still learning to write in cursive.
Oh my god, cursive.
And, you know, these are all from... Actually, this one's not bad. This one's actually pretty okay. Oh my goodness, I didn't account for the spacing of the... Hold on, I gotta get past the why not thing. I didn't account for the spacing, so the dew is going down the page.
Oh, that's precious.
And then...
It's Scooby-Doo!
Doo! And you got Daphne. Oh, I started at Johnny Bravo. Scrappy. I like the hair on this Shaggy. I think this is specifically... I remember these things so much. I remember where I took the reference from. This is from the intro to the Scooby-Doo show, the 3rd series. That's from an episode from it. That's from an episode of it. These are, I think, all from the same episode. Yeah, Shaggy's uncle. I didn't even remember his name. I mean, and you could see a lot of these were just studies of character faces, sometimes the bodies. And then, oh, Edda and Eddie.
Aww.
Naz. I still really like this one.
That is absolutely precious.
I like it! Oh.
And then...
Aww.
You could tell this was from, I think this was from the episode where they were trying to get world records because Johnny's looks like he's sitting on the fence. I could tell where the fence was going to be. The pilot episode. Just more Shaggy and Scooby.
Well, hold on. You can't just gloss over Shaggy in jail and not explain it.
This was from an episode of the Scooby-Doo Scrappy-Doo show, and they were in the jungle and got caught by, like, I think a panther. Like, then we get the mummy from What's New Scooby-Doo, and I'm fairly impressed with young me. Like, this is actually decent. But I think this is also the thing. You can see the slow growth in my art.
Man, Daphne got fucking swole over there.
Oh, the thing was, this was like an episode of Josie and the Pussycats where I think Melody was like hypnotized. So her arms were out here. So this was my first time trying to do perspective because the character's arms were facing forward to the screen. And then Alexandra. Oh, then you'll see like Total Drama and Jabberjaw. Oh, look, there's a little eye study of the Total Drama eyes because there was a Total Drama video game on CartoonNetwork.com that had a character creator. And then we end the sketchbook with Shaggy. And let me just say, from the first Shaggy onto this Shaggy, you could see that there was a growth.
There's improvement.
There's
Look
improvement.
at that character growth.
And I really love that, because, I was also the type of kid that would do this and like, border outline everything on the back of these composition books. But I found this when I was cleaning, and it gave me such a huge sense of nostalgia, because I used to trace, like, I would take pieces of lined paper, put it against the computer screen, you know, one of those boxy-ass computers.
Oh my god, same!
And trace what I saw, and my dad told me, why don't you freehand it? And this drawing was the first drawing I ever freehanded, when I was a little 7-year-old. And it just grew from there. I would not have become an artist. I wouldn't be doing, like, this and all this if it wasn't for my dad telling me, why don't you freehand something? And he taught me how to draw, like, my first characters, like Taught me how to draw like Fred Flintstone and SpongeBob and all that kind of stuff. And I'm glad that I found this because it shows that growth can come from anywhere, and liking something and doing, because this is essentially fan art. You take your time to make something based off something you like is valid, and it helps you grow, and everyone gets their start somewhere. And if I was going to tell the little girl who's had this sketchbook, who had this composition notebook, that she would be doing this right now for people, she probably wouldn't comprehend it. And so I look back on this and be like, look at how far you've gotten. And everyone goes at their own rate. It took 7, and I'm 23. It took that many years for me to be at this level where I'm like, yeah, I'm a good artist. And you should, some people are just like, oh, I'll never get better. Or this person who's younger than me is miles ahead of me. And it's like, everyone has their own, growth chart. Some people have something exponentially faster, and some people are slower, but the end point is still the same. And at the end of the day, the difference is, what do you want out of it? And it's why I encourage, Max, who's older than me and getting into art at a much later age than I am, to keep doing it and learn things. Because it doesn't matter if you don't grasp it immediately. The point is that you're trying. And I think that's important.
Very.
Because at some point, the artist you liked sucked. No one started amazing.
Nope.
Did someone say hi key or something?
Yeah, Brandon.
Oh.
Also, hi.
Oh, hey, Dan. Dan! Everyone, let's give a hearty welcome to Dan!
Yeah.
Hi, Dan.
I wish we could make italicized text in live chats so people could just go, Dan.
Oh, there's not a way? You can't put a... Oh yeah, that doesn't work. Asterisk.
That's our new, hi, Dan! There we go, yeah. Caps and changing capitalizations.
Sarcastic SpongeBob text.
Sarcastic SpongeBob text. We used to call that sarcastic AOL text, is if you used italics when you were talking. Because with AOL, at least my version of AOL, the asterisks were not the shortcut to make it. You would use asterisks if you were indicating an action, which is why a lot of people who don't do proper script writing put little italics in there. But when we wanted to say something sarcastically, me and my friends would put italics, because it kind of gave off the impression you were saying something with a little bit of snarl. Like, what?
I am actually kind of... I don't know how to feel right now. So, I went on the Wayback Machine and found Sonic Central, right? This old website.
Uh-huh.
There is proof that a piece of my old fan art was on this website, but the problem is it doesn't load, and that makes me so unbelievably upset.
Aw. Well, you have the memory in your heart of hearts.
Well, I still have the image. If I can pull it out, I'll show you later. It's just, oh man, that hurts so bad. You have no idea.
I had a piece of fan art for Archie Comics on the Archie Comics website that they wrote a caption to. And I don't know if it's still up there, because I don't know if the Archie Comics site is still there. But, oh god, that was when I was first getting into digital art. I had like Photoshop Elements 8. Not even Photoshop Elements. It was so bad.
Oh god.
Will say though, Photoshop Elements 8 was the one legal version of Photoshop I've had over the years. Because I actually had the disc for it, back when Photoshop could be on a disc.
Yeah.
Damn.
I remember a few people back at school that tried to steal the discs just so that they can have it.
Oh man,
Why didn't they just make copies when no one was looking?
because they're dumb.
Exactly.
They're kids.
Because they're dumb. Hey,
And this was
Dad.
before my school got the building that looked like a cigarette.
Excuse me, you can't just say that without context.
Okay, so as I was going into secondary school,
Mm-hmm.
the new building was getting built and the old building was about to be demolished. So I had about a year in the old building before we moved into the new one. And as soon as it was finished, I was like, it looks like a fucking cigarette.
Looks like a stogie.
Because there's a brick part of the building that would be the butt of the cigarette, and then like white panels on the rest of it. And it looked like a cigarette. And the funny thing is, the sign slabs would be on the end of the cigarette where you would light it. So if the sign slabs were to catch fire, it would burn down like a cigarette.
Maybe that's what the architecture person's plan was. Architecture
Maybe.
person. Architect! God, Chrissy.
Architecture
Just
person.
because you were looking at art from when you were 7 doesn't mean you have to talk like you're 7. Also, monkey mouth, monkey mouth, monkey.
Monkey mouth.
You know what?
Monkey
I'm
mouth.
gonna wait. Hold on, let me do something real quick. What?
Wow.
It's just, Lizzie, one of the things that amuses me about you is the fact that you could be in the middle of a thought, middle of a statement, middle of an action, then you have an ooh butterfly moment, and it's just throws a wrench into the fucking train wheels, and then everyone dies.
I am gonna be right back because I want to find this. There's actually 2 pieces of fan art that was on the website. I've gotta see if I gotta find them for you guys. I'll be right back.
Here's a question,
Well,
because we
it'll
have a
be
bunch
here,
of
but yeah.
people. We have a bunch of people who draw in this call now. What's the oldest piece of art you have that you still have possession of?
Oh my god.
I'd have to look.
Same. I have
Same.
everything in my drawers over there. I'm pointing to my left.
I have
Wait, you're pointing
my
this
pile-
way?
I'm pointing
I-
that way.
I have piles of like printer paper and drawing books because I drew so much.
Same.
Did any of you guys get
The
gifted,
oldest
like, a how to
thing-
draw and... Oh, go on, Chris.
Yes.
The oldest thing, when I was making the Sonic videos, I was going through every single CD and DVD, like CDR and data disc that I had, like in boxes and shit, trying to find if I ever put some of my terrible Sonic fan art on one of these discs. Could not find them. However, in the process, I ended up finding really old, like, animations and drawings. And I think the oldest thing I found was I had found a Windows Movie Maker MS Paint animation that I made in like 2004.
Wow.
I do have that.
Oh.
It is on my hard drive right now. And I think it's only like 2 seconds long or something. I'm actually gonna put it in the mods once I find
I
it. 'cause
put
there's no
the
fucking
picture
way.
of all of my sketchbooks and mods that I found.
Holy shit.
Wow. I mean, I bet that's nothing to actual traditional artists today, but that's all my traditional work. Well, not all of it. There's like loose papers in my drawer somewhere, but yeah, filled those. I see a facility.
Yeah, that's. And then there's this.
Oh my god.
I was going to do a
Damn.
cleavage line here, but I feel like it looks off with this very bubbly style. Like, everything's so rounded that it just feels...
I say leave out
I'm
the
going
cleavage.
to. I'm going to delete that. Quickly handbrake it to an MP4, and that way.
Yeah, I
That way you
don't know
people
how to
can
work
watch
with-
the. I know. You're baby who don't know how to computer.
You're damn right I'm baby.
So the oldest piece of art that I could find is because back when I was really trash on DeviantArt,
Oh, DeviantArt.
oh god, this was like during one of my many name changes that I went through, and I was a massive Zelda fan, and you can tell which one I heavily referenced in this, in the mods.
Oh my god.
Mr. Video, I am drawing a little original piece that I will scan, and whenever someone buys something from my storefront, they will get a print of this as a free print to say thank you for purchasing my stuff. And this is going to be the first one that I do of it. I'm planning to make one every month or so for, different purchase.
Yes. Yes.
So there's a little bit of a collecting aspect. I may make this also a thing for Patreon. I'm not sure. Stealing the idea from a smarter person.
I found the thing!
Did you find the Sonic thing?
Yes. Actually, I'm gonna see if I find the other one, because like I said, there were oh, there it is. It was literally like right there.
There we go.
Oh no. Oh no.
What is it?
It's in my VC. It's,
Can't be that.
it's adorable.
Oh my gosh, baby voice.
It's baby Chris.
Oh my god.
How dare you?
Baby boy, baby.
I'm at least 14.
Baby boy,
That's still
baby.
Still baby.
I call grown adults baby, Chris. You shush.
Yeah, she's right.
I love the fucking the clouds were the fucking spray can brush in MS Paint.
God.
Oh, okay. Because people asked, I'm gonna share this with the class. Let me get it. I'm gonna download this quickly and then put it up for the stream.
Oh.
Edit mode!
Dear.
Edit mode! Edit mode!
Okay. Okay, I give you
Edit
I think you might want to turn off that thing. Is that I could see that it was playing audio and it was in the fucking red.
I mentioned to share these on stream, Key. They are beautiful.
Oh, I'm gonna share the Amy one.
Oh no.
Share both of them, please. Share both of them.
She needs
Oh,
the
God.
validation. Do it.
Oh.
Oh my!
Da 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 da! What's
Look
on
at
her
those
legs?
fucking legs.
Why does she have so big hips?
I don't know.
Okay, let me get the other one.
Yeah, it's amazing work of composition. The other one.
Oh my god, what's up with tails?
It's like a sausage.
I mean,
What's worse is, if I remember correctly, I think that little stick figure on the surfboard is supposed to be me.
I like the title being Sonic Beach.
Yes. This made
This
it on a,
umbrella is beautiful.
this made it on a fan art section on a website.
Yeah.
People
I
actually
remember
saw
when
that.
you played as Sonic on the Smash Bros. Brawl Shadow Girl.
Oh no.
How dare you bring that name up?
Trash!
I'm kind of
I am
tempted.
trash.
I'm kind of tempted to draw the people that are inside the hair with like these kind of shitty dot-eyed faces, almost like they're little toys in the hair. You know, kind of like this with the pony. I don't know, something is tempting me to go like really simple with the characters in the hair, and then she's the more structured one.
Oh, also, I would like to point out that the Amy picture, I colored that in with like gel pens.
Oh, that's almost impressively bad. Like, I hate the consistency of gel pens. I like their look, but I hate, like, they feel like they die on me every 2 seconds, and I have to. It's almost it's the shaking of them like paint pens, but without the reward that paint pens give.
Oh, dude, I had to beg my parents to constantly get me gel pens. That was before I found out about colored pencils.
Just to
Uh-oh.
answer, Mr. Video, I don't paint every single one of my works, but I do paint. I was trained as a painter before I got into digital art. It's just, you know, digital art pays the bills, so I don't do it nearly as often as painting, but I'm trying to get back into it again. Partly because I've been watching so many art YouTubers recently, and it's just reawakened this fire in my tummy for painting.
Hey, Lizzie.
Lizzie.
Huh? What?
Shit, she did.
In the Lacuteness, I found that in my archives.
Oh.
Oh my god.
Is it like a dog?
It's cat kitty.
No,
Is it your cat?
take a look.
Aw. Ah. Look at, I picked my favorite. Look at this little baby, this little calico.
I had a feeling.
This little
I figured
turtle.
that would be your favorite.
It's a little
That was
turtle.
Annabelle.
Turtle.
Tort.
They're
Her
called,
name was Annabelle.
yeah. There's, calicos are sometimes called turtle shell cats. This is a calico. Turtle shell cats are more pattern is all over the body, but we had a calico turtle shell cat twice when I was growing up. We called the first one Mittens, and she was,
Aww.
and I thought she was cute. My mom thought she was ugly as sin. We fed her, and she came back pregnant, so we kept her.
Jesus.
Had her litter in my house on Easter. They were Easter babies.
Did
And we
you
kept
put him in
one
a
of
basket?
Yeah, we kept one of them and named it Pumpkin.
Oh.
He
Precious.
got fat. I'm much more of a dog
God.
person, but when I like a cat, I like a cat.
Yeah, that's pretty much it for me. Holy shit, I found all of my old traced artwork and highly referenced artwork. I'll have to show it to you guys when we're done with this.
If people wonder where my ideas come from, they don't come from my head, they come from my hair. That's why it's colored. It's my personality. And when it's faded, you know that I'm not in a creative mood.
Actually, if I can find something in here, I'm gonna put. You don't have to share this. I'm gonna post it in the ModGC chat.
Can we appreciate Keyframe's face?
Aww.
Oh.
It's the wonky
Mm.
eyes.
I
Oh,
want
yes.
to make them all very simple, almost like they're little dolls.
Oh my god. We just found something really cursed.
Is it
put it
something
in
of your
mods.
creation?
Yes. I hate this.
I know that we are bordering on 3 hours, but I want to get this sketch done because I'm really feeling it.
I'm just gonna post this in ModVC. You don't have to share it. I just want to show off the very first piece of Sonic fan art I ever did.
Oh dear.
Dan, what the actual hell is that?
I love it. Oh my god, so many traced comics!
Anyway, y'all want to see perfection?
Sure.
Yes, please.
All right, give me a second. I'm trying to pull it up.
Actually, let's make her really peeking out of the hair, so her hooves are like up here. Like, hello, I see you.
Alright, it's going into mods. It's in mods.
Oh
Then I
dear.
think
That
we'll
is-
put... My key's right here.
I like how Eggman's mustache is just a stick.
Oh boy, let me see this. Let me see this terror.
I'm like deciphering anything.
Man, we should make a tag on Twitter that's like my first art versus my latest art, because this is what it feels like.
Mhm.
That's not my first art, but that was like
Well, you know, the earliest piece of art you can find versus, you know, the newest art you've drawn, and just see how far. It's such a. I love memes like that, or trends like that, because it just feels really good. Like, look how far you come. I absolutely adore, Amy looks like a character from ARMS. Wait, are those wings? Like, what is this?
Mr. Video says, well, I'm sorry, but that's just terrible.
I mean, she was also like a kid.
I was like, 9, so
Kermits.
Oh, you've still got the Kermits on?
I haven't taken them down, and in fact, if you want to see something great, so my starting soon screen, as you can see, has fan art, you know? Bunch of nice stuff. I'm waiting for it to happen. It gets there. I accidentally saved all those Kermit photos from the gaming stream into my fan art folder. So eventually, I didn't notice that till the beginning of this stream, because I did put a couple random Kermits in there just to have fun with it. And then I noticed, wait, that's more Kermits than I remember. Wait! Oh no! I saved the Kermits to the fan art stream! Now people have to draw me as Kermit! Keemit.
Keemit.
So I think maybe I'll put, like... I'll put Abby here, and Theo has to be close by. Or should I... If I'm gonna put a duo character...
Bless. Bless.
Thank you. Oh god, I pulled a muscle.
Why did you sound like Chi-Chi there?
I don't know. Do I? Did I? Weird.
Yeah, the
Kinda.
Maniac one and that fancy one that was just on screen was done by my friend Grey Cat. Fantastic artist. Oh, Luigi Man donated $5. Hey Keyframe, just wanted to say
Yay.
I needed this stream after quite a rough day at work today, so yeah, thank you. I'm glad that my art streams provide. I've noticed this is a running thing today. People are just like, this was what I needed today, and you have no idea how much that warms my heart. A lot of this artwork is done by Brogar, who's fantastic. This was done by DVixie, who's not on Twitter anymore. She's only on DeviantArt, but she's still fantastic. Oh, and we're getting to the Kermits.
Yep.
Yep. And this goes on for 15 pictures. Wait, oh, well, there's this one of the my persona dabbing. And this cute one.
Oh.
That one's cute. I like that one. And now we're back to Kermit. But, I'm stuck. Because I want to put Abby and Theo, which are like two of my original characters, together in here. But I'm not sure if I should put them here, so closer to the head, or here, where there's more negative space. So I don't know if having three characters so close to my head is too busy.
I would try putting it a bit further away.
Yeah, good idea, Dan.
Dan.
I think I'll put them in last because they are the duo, so I see how much room I have left, because now I gotta put in the persona. The lesson here is Chrissy has a lot of OCs and personas, and she has a problem, but she's going to self-indulge in it.
You ever thought selling them?
No. I'm never selling Keyframe. Are you high?
You said you have a lot of OCs. I didn't think about just Keyframe.
Oh, well, the ones that are going to be in this drawing are Keyframe, my Persona Tempera, and Abby and Theo, which, those are OCs that are for a pilot, so, I may put in my Gem Sona, but I'm still thinking about it. I probably won't, because she's completely blue, and my hair is blue, so it wouldn't merge, but...
Merge.
So yeah, maybe I'll put the Persona here, and have maybe the tail peeking out.
I need to draw my persona dabbing, honestly,
Oh my god.
after seeing that.
Dabbing, T-posing, doing anything cursed.
And then, yeah, then Abby and Theo can be right here. Or maybe I can have them separated, so there's one up here and then one right here. This is the fun part about drafting pictures, folks, is the constant wondering of how do I make this not fucky? Because Theo and Abby have a lot of hair themselves, so they do need some form of space. So yeah, one can be looking down, one can be looking upwards. Yeah, that works. I think that'll work. I gotta make their heads smaller, but... But this is actually a good start. This is turning... I really like how this came out.
Yeah.
I'm pleasantly surprised. So this will be, after our... This is the most harrowing part of when you do a watercolor piece, is that you basically have to erase as much lead as possible to do the inking. Because water plus graphite equals not good looking. But, yeah, probably the next stream, I'm going to ink this and paint it, and that'll be neat. Maybe I'll start the stream with this, because this would be the fastest thing. But, you know, we are over time right now, and let me see if I could put everything on screen. We got quite a bit of progress on a little bit of everything. We did more with Perry's hair. It's coming out really nice. Got a little bit of detail work done. Primed up Raichu, and we got started in a whole new piece. This is more progress than what I usually do, because I'm so hyper-focused on one thing, and then I keep fixing arrows and I get tired of it. So this was a nice multitasking stream. I'm sorry that we didn't get to the monster pin designs, but there's always another time, another place, and I'm probably gonna do those digital anyways, so, and as you can see, I don't have a tablet set up. But yeah, thank you guys for joining me for a nice chill Saturday night stream. Thank you to K-Moan, Dark Blastoise, and Luigi for your donations. I honestly get so surprised when people donate money during the art streams, because I don't know, it feels more right when people are, ironically, when I'm gaming and not doing something creative, than when I'm arting, but you know, that it means a lot. Thank you, and thank you to Tia and Chris and Lizzie and Dan for joining me. We had a lot of fun discussions and art talk.
Yeah.
We'll probably do game night on Monday or Tuesday, depending on how Sunday goes, basically. And I'll have a poll up on Twitter, probably tomorrow morning. asking if we want to do more Sonic Adventure 2, more Getting Over It, or do like a one-off fun game like Garfield Kart or something. And yeah, thank you guys for joining me. I don't really have a silly, witty way to end this. I just had a really good time.
Oh, Chrissy,
Yes, Dan.
before you end off, do you mind showing the cursed Zeldatron?
Sure, where is it? Oh! Okay, we found our witty, funny way to end a stream.
Oh no.
We're gonna leave you off with Nightmare! What the hell did you do to Zelda? What are these? Are these boobs? What are these spikes coming out of her arms?
Good night, everybody.
Oh wait, they're glove folds. Oh my! I didn't notice her eyes till now. Whoa! We're just gonna. Yeah, this is what we're gonna leave people off on. Just.
I don't like being able to see the tear ducts or whatever those are called.
It's just her brain.